I'm like, babe, just take me to the Grand Canyon, put me in the Suburban, and put a brick on the pedal. And just make sure I'm strapped in and I can't get out.
What song are you listening to on your way down the Grand Canyon? You got to be playing something.
Tom Petty, Free Fallin'. I'm free. Very
AC/DC, Highway to Hell.
yes.
All right.
Dry.
So good. Welcome back, everybody, to Waiting to Dry, formerly known as the most consistent art podcast. It used to be weekly, but, you guys still aren't caught up. All those messages we got, I still need to catch up. How long is it going to take you? Anyways, I'm Sergio Lopez.
Josh Lawyer.
And we got Scott W. Pryor.
Oh, hell no. What's up, dog?
Hello.
What's going on?
Gosh, just in town to go to the Sonoma plein air.
Nice.
Right. You can be a plein air buddies out there.
Plein air
Are you
painting.
doing that too, Sergio?
I am, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys, is there any prep before that, or do you just wander the day? So there's a start date, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, start date's on Monday.
And then you guys just kind of like you go and wander. I actually don't know this
Pretty
part.
much.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go spend Monday down on the Russian River.
Oh, nice.
My friends have a compound, so
Oh, sweet.
with a dock and a tiki barge.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because, they got to have a tiki barge.
Why not? Yeah.
So we'll be out on the tiki barge on Monday for a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Right
awesome.
on.
I'm going to try to do a painting of it. It's pretty fun. So it's a good spot.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I still haven't been to the Russian River this year.
Really? Huh.
Fingers crossed I can jump in that water. Wait, is it even swimmable now?
I don't know. Like last time we looked at it, there was like a whole article about there being like a really bad toxic algae bloom up there. So if you find a spot that's not full of green
What if
shit,
it's just called toxic algae, but it's actually not toxic?
So what does that mean?
it
You
means
die if you jump in? What the fuck?
possibly. Just don't get in your mouth.
I think you just stay away from the stagnant areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how, I'll find out when I get there. Don't go over there. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So that's cool. So you're not going to try to like understand that Sergio might have some insider knowledge on places to paint and then just put a GPS on the bottom of his car and
That's a good idea. But, I got some ideas of spots and things I want to go do. So just depends on where the sun is and what's going on and, go get the plein air on.
it's a world I am not at all part of.
Have you ever tried it?
No, I tried I half-assed it once. It was in Portland and it was like very on a whim type deal with what's his name from gambling?
Oh, Scott Gelatley.
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah. And he was like, I don't know why we picked this spot. It's super hard to especially for you guys' first time. I was like, yeah, I was planning on doing like a mountain or something, not like an inner city fucking ordeal. So
You're doing urban scenes straight off the bat.
yeah,
You can use brown pencil.
we were like, yeah. I mean, it was not great, but yeah, I don't know.
Funny. I have a couple spots here and there, and I just driving up here, I saw something like right at the county line border.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
There's like a train. It's all tagged up.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of sitting there.
Luma area?
Yeah, just south of it, right?
Just south of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the east side of the road.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we'll see. I might check it out on the way back.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't done an event in forever. So then, as we all know, COVID squished it last year. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
they asked if I wanted to come this year. I said, hell yeah.
That's cool. They personally reached out to you?
No, that was a mass email.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't anything special.
Okay.
I'm not that cool.
They sent a helicopter over.
Yeah.
With
I'm not
briefcase of
Monty
money.
cool. Come on.
Yeah.
God damn that guy. Anyways.
Shut up. Oh, that's cool. I mean, yeah. I should probably give it a try, I suppose. I'm not closed-minded to it.
You've been wanting to paint that Foster's Freeze forever.
Yeah, there's a Foster Freeze down the street that I'm like, oh, I just like, it's like a old, like mid-century building.
Yeah, cool.
It's just run down. I like it.
Yeah, go do it.
Yeah. And at night,
We can do it this week. Come on.
at night they have like these colorful lights. And I'm like, oh, this is just a really cool. Yeah. I'm like, I'll just photograph it and paint it at my house. But
Well, if you could just try,
yeah.
do a little sketch, see what you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
It won't hurt you.
Yeah, I know.
Your neighbors might though, because what's this dude out here doing?
Well, I mean, we do murals, so I'm just getting fucked with by people. They're not fucked with, but bugged, I suppose. I don't know.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys get a lot. Well, you guys probably get a totally different crowd because we get like a lot of times we get like tweakers and stuff because you're painting in like in alleyways and shit. But I could see because I've seen people doing plein air areas, like near beaches or like whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I could see like like soccer moms or something.
Oh yeah, it's all types.
Yeah.
It's all types. But when you're doing urban stuff, though,
Oh yeah,
you get all the idiots.
More spicy characters.
Yeah.
And I'm not. It's fun to deal with them sometimes.
You got to.
I had one dude I was painting in Old Town Tucson, and he came walking by. He's like, oh, hey, cool, yeah, man. My aunt paints. Then he comes, he walks away, and then he comes back like 20 minutes later with his buddy, and he's all, oh look, it's a painter guy. He's all like talking shit to me. I'm like, dude, you were just fucking here.
You're right.
I will stab you with my fucking brush. Get out of here. Like,
yeah. He's like, oh yeah, painter.
Then I had it turned around because I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. But yeah, characters.
Yeah. We were painting a mural in Sacramento. And this lady, was having a conversation with my wife, and when the lady leaves, I'm like, God, that was something. So I go and ask her, and she's like, oh, the lady, she came up, she's like, what is this? And then I was like, oh, it's a mural I'm doing. It was like glowing pandas and shit. And then she was like, no, this is, what is it? MK Ultra. She was like, no, this is MK Ultra. I know it. All the murals in the city are done by the government and like a secret agent and stuff like that. And it was
my gosh.
I feel
like I'm taking crazy pills.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And she was just like, it's not. And she was just like, I know it is. And she like took off. But it was like, hopefully she doesn't fuck up our mural. But yeah, it's a good old time. They should figure out, you guys should make like a box though. I mean, make like a wooden box and just,
there you go.
Just have like the double-sided mirror or whatever, where they can't look in, but you can look out.
Or be like the dude that went into Walmart when COVID hit and he had the fucking
like a bubble suit or something. Oh yeah.
He had a hat on that, like 6 feet apart from me. I was like,
That's
oh
hilarious.
my God, dude.
Yeah, he's like, can someone hand me that can? I can't reach it.
Yeah.
Just roll it over to me.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah, the world got weird for sure.
For sure, right?
It's weird now because I've two of my brothers live in Australia, and they're just starting to get locked down, and he's like telling me shit.
Locked down again, yeah.
Yeah, but they never really had like a real one. Like he so all the things he's telling me now, I'm like, yeah, we did that like a year and a half ago. He's like, oh yeah, we're just like at home and we can't leave, and he's like, people are drinking a lot. And I'm like, yeah, that happened. And I was like, yeah, it's like they're talking about like spousal abuse that it's on the rise. You're like, yeah. They're like, did you not go through it?
So yesterday?
But it's like everything. He's like now going. It's like a weird time machine. I'm like, yeah, I can almost tell you everything that you're about to go through. Like,
Yeah. You got a year and a half of this crap, bro.
yeah. At least they got toilet paper.
Oh, good.
I mean, it doesn't sound like they have that issue over there.
Phew.
Yeah.
That was the strangest.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because of that, though, like I finally did a goal, and I always wanted to do a massive multi-figure painting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that mosh pit one came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Came out awesome.
That was rad.
Yeah. So it's like 48 by 60 and
Yeah.
a shit ton of people in it, you know. Some of them are life size, you know.
Wow.
Holy fuck.
Well, my daughter came into the because she moved back down from because of COVID. She came back home from Berkeley, and she came in. She's like, "Dad, I feel like I'm at the show with you right now."
That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm onto something.
That's awesome.
So it's in the stacks.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm trying to do
Just
a
don't
series.
have anywhere to show it now? Or-
No, actually, well, that's funny. I'm going to be doing a show in La Jolla at this new gallery that
Oh, okay.
Barbara Freeman.
Mm.
She's a retired philanthropist type,
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
quote unquote.
She finished saving the world.
She's still doing a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm just kidding.
Now she's trying to help make some sort of art scene happen in San Diego. So I'm
Nice.
like, okay. And I'm not being represented by her. I'm just getting the show, and
Right. Yeah.
you know, so we'll see what happens. It's
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of quick, so I'm just gonna take all my big paintings and
Uh-huh.
put them up, and then fill in the middle with
Nice.
some small ones. So,
So did you learn a bunch on that large painting?
oh yeah, tons.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I got about like I don't know, just under 300 hours into that stupid thing
Wow.
with all the drawing and
Mm-hmm.
you know concept stuff. I'd been talking about doing that, and I was over at Steve Caballero's house.
Oh, okay.
The professional skater guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lives but down by me, and we were doing art night at his house on Tuesdays.
Nice.
Super fun. And I just started, you know, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do a big mosh pit painting, you know? And they're all, I double dog dare you kind of shit. And I'm
Right.
like, then COVID hit, and I'm like, well, I ain't got anything else to do. I got plenty of paint, and I got a big panel. So let's go. Because I had all these little sketches from photos that I had taken at different rock shows, and
Uh-huh.
so it was funny. And then I just jumped in and started on that, and
Is
like,
that pieced together by multiple pictures?
yeah,
Holy shit.
probably worked from about 30 photos.
Damn.
So I got myself invited to a Rancid show
Mhm.
in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, a few years ago at the Regency Theater. And so I had previously met up with Lars and did a photo shoot with him. He's, you know, singer, guitarist for Rancid.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, hey, I'm coming to town. I have my camera. Can you get me in with my camera? And he's all, let me see what I can do. You're in, brother. I'm like, awesome. So I just basically got to be a photo guy that night. You know, I'm all taking pictures like I'm a rock star. You know, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm with the professional photographers in the pit. And then that, you know, you only get to do 3 songs, and then you're out from the barrier. So then I went out into the pit, and I was just literally just shooting and shooting and shooting, and got this whole sequence
That's awesome.
of people going against the grain, colliding, and doing all that. So
How do you even shoot that? You just keep pressing the button, hope something shows up?
yeah, and I think I put it on sport.
Okay.
So I was just like going and going and going and going. I should have shot video of it. Is what I was
okay.
like. Oh, that would have been smart, because I can take the piece, you know.
Yeah, freeze it.
And yeah, exactly. So next time, because I'm going to be going to do hopefully shooting a Pennywise show
Oh, okay.
pretty soon. So
That's cool. So this might be a series.
Yeah, it's slowly.
That's awesome.
Slowly working on a series.
That's
Trying
right.
That sounds brutal.
The show is so hard.
I feel like at hour 100, I'd be like, how can I fuck this painting up?
Well, and then that's kind of what happens. I'm all like, there's one section I redid it like 3 times. You know,
Damn.
it's like it's fucking stupid.
Like how big of a section?
About 3 feet
Wow.
by 2 feet, and it's just a shit ton of people, and I just like trying to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for those of you who don't see this, I'm doing hand gestures. I'm
Thought you were Italian for
so I was just trying to make it work, and like piecing people together from different photos, and then no, it's not working. Roll, wipe it out, start over, scrape it, So, but then I get it back, and it's like, okay, that works.
That sounds so. What did you do? Who hurt you so bad?
It was brutal, but I was like, I'm gonna finish this fucker. Basically, It was like me against it. So, and it came out good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Well, it was super awesome. It's one of those things where it's like I feel like so many people might not appreciate the effort. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh, totally. No,
it's like, like they might just like go, especially with Instagram and like flipping through.
Oh yeah.
I know artists will see it and be like, holy fuck, how do you where do you start on that? At least that's my mind is like,
that was the whole thing, like, where do you start on that? So I basically, I came up with a drawing, and then I had some ideas of other people that I wanted to put in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
So with my basic drawing, I projected it and just got it up on the panel, and then started working it. And then once I got to a point where I could start working on the foreground more with just the drawing part, there's I'm not even laying in values really yet. That's when I started like drawing big drawings, cutouts, and taping them up there.
I see.
Will this work? Will that work? Like, where should I put that guy?
Yeah, did you squeeze in Waldo anywhere?
No, no Waldos. I have all these friends. Well, you should put me in there, like Michael Godfrey. He's a 6'3" African American dude. And he's like, I want to be in that painting. I'm all, you need to come out here and go to a show with me. That's the only way I'll put you in a painting. He's all, or if I'm back in Baltimore and there's a show, I'll take you with me and I'll put you in the pit. That's the only way you get it. He's like, brother, that ain't happening.
Fuck. Yeah, how do you even... So are you in the center of the pit when you're like...
Yeah.
How are you not getting fucked up?
So I'm literally standing on the edge of the pit. Right. I got my camera, and like what was it's so crowded, it's a sold out show. People got next to me, and I just kind of like boom, 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 just shot, and they protected me basically. So, and like when people would come, cover that bad boy up and be ready to hold on, and then get back out and, so
that's awesome.
It's a little risky, but
yeah, I remember I went to a Rage Against the Machine concert, and we were like smushed, and then right when they started playing, I just remember it's like, I guess we're all just, there was no movement to be had, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, we're all like full on sprinting now. How the fuck is that even possible? Like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, there wasn't any more space. Now there somehow is. It's a chaotic feeling for sure. And like this.
Dude, I'm 52 years old and I still go in the pit.
That's wild.
It's like, well, it's been a while since I've been in the pit, but yeah. Year and a half. So,
that's cool.
I learned a lot from it, though. That's for sure. Like, kind of how to piece things together a little quicker, as opposed to not making shortcuts, but like
right,
visually making the movement happen and stuff. So
Yeah. How do you decide? Like, I know Sergio kind of has this situation where like he goes in waves of different art styles, like from like plein air to whatever he's
to figurative, to still lifes. Yeah. Just jump around.
Yeah. There's no like, I'm really in a hiking mood or something like that.
Sometimes. Yeah. I don't, it just depends on what's going on, but I definitely I prefer painting people. So, like that's always on the side though. Doing the landscape, urban things. Those are kind of the bread and butter.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's always interesting.
But I'm trying to do a series.
Yeah.
And so like I have photos of a bunch of different rock and rollers and people. So I'm going to do a series with portrait paintings and show paintings. And
I know a lot of times people talk about like when you do like portrait work or whatever, it's hard to sell because people are committing to like a figure, right? But the interesting thing with like a mosh pit is like it's almost like the entity is like the mosh pit and not one single human being, So then, because I know a lot of people will try to figure out how to kind of like hide the human somehow, make them in some whatever way they figure out how to do that. There's like this like masking of like a figure so that people feel more inclined to committing to something because they're not like putting a random image of a human being on their wall.
Yeah.
So that's like I'm interested to see how that works out because that makes sense. It's like by making it so many humans, all of a sudden it then becomes something different. It becomes a crowd instead of a person.
Yeah, exactly. And trying to, with doing them, I'm just trying to be smarter about it because that one took forever. 30 photos. What was I thinking?
Fucking hell.
So I'm slowly doing some of those and gonna do more of them. But I paint them. I'm painting it for me.
Yeah.
I'll hang this on my wall. You're talking about people's comments and stuff, and somebody shared it in like the representational art group on Facebook or whatever.
Okay.
And I was just like, because I told Michael Pierce, I'm like, yeah, go ahead, put it on there if you want, And the response was funny. Because some people were like, I wouldn't put that in my living room. Like, I didn't paint that for you, you jerk.
Right.
I'm like, shut the hell up. God.
that like type of feedback is such a fucking lame human being in my opinion. No one cares about you.
Right.
Go somewhere else with that mentality.
No shit. It's just,
Don't say my dog.
Yeah. Just my idea that like because you don't like something that I don't know, somehow invalidated or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like you're a silly human being.
yeah. And really, like, the real artists were like, whoa, how long will that take you?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those who would dare to ask.
Fuck.
Were there a lot of people that were just like that generic, like I wouldn't put it in my living room type
There
of
was
people,
a handful of them. I was, they're like, yeah, I don't really get it. I'm like, that's not for you. I did this for me.
Yeah.
And for my people. My people get this.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they probably want cowboy hair or something.
Yeah. Hey, I tried that too once.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
I did a series of like 7. I got invited to a roundup, one of the last roundups in Orange County.
What does that mean? I don't know what that is.
Roundup, where they go get the
Oh, like an
calves.
actual roundup.
An actual
Okay.
roundup. Yeah.
Okay.
Not the shit you spray on the ground. An actual roundup.
Okay.
There's the O'Neill Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got an itch. Don't mess my cord up. The O'Neill Ranch, they were doing annually, they do roundups, and one of my collectors invited me to it, and I had just gotten a brand new Kodak 10x zoom digital camera.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, let's go. And so I did a series of I think I did 7. I sold them all.
Nice.
So, but it didn't get me anywhere. I tried to get into different Western shows, which I got in some smaller ones, and I won an award at one of them. But the big ones, those are the ones you want in. That's where the money is, dude. Like the show at the Autry Museum.
Okay, yeah.
Masters of the American West, that kind of thing. You know, Howard Turpning.
I don't know any of those.
You don't know who Howard Turpning is? Look him up. Got this brand new Indian sculpture over here, right? Look up Howard Turpning.
Okay. Is he a big sculptor?
No, he's a painter. He's an illustrator.
Yeah, he used to be an illustrator.
Back in
I
the
might
day.
know his work. I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know names.
Yeah.
Even if I saw it and tried to memorize it.
You've probably seen his work.
Yeah. Or at least stuff that looks a lot like it because he got copied a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a show that I was trying to get into, which never happened. So I just was like, whatever, I'm just going to stick with urban.
Well, the problem is then, you're stuck doing that. And if you don't want to do that, then your opportunity dry up.
Exactly.
So.
The opportunity did dry up.
Yeah.
And I moved on.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing, one of the other things that I did during the lockdown, I had this idea of a concept where I had an idea of doing a guy on a mule with a pack mule. So he's riding a mule and he's got a pack mule, and I made the pack mule have all the shit on there that I wanted on it. What would I have with me? I have my art supplies. I got my tent. I got my surfboard. I got my skateboard. I got a ukulele. I got a fishing pole. So I did all this. I did a little concept.
I love that idea. Yeah.
And I did a painting though of like using Midtown Manhattan as the background.
Oh, okay.
So the guy's walking across, walking down the street. People are crossing the street, and so I did one of those. So I'm going to do a little series of those because it's really fun.
Pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
It's fun, and I called it Midtown Mules because Midtown's financial and all that. So it's kind of a two-sided thing.
I get it.
You have to look at it. You'll see.
I mean, in my mind, if it looks cool. It sounds cool.
I could pull it up on my phone for you.
It kind of, what's Martin whatever.
Yeah, Whitworth or something like that. Yeah,
Pick a easier last name.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying. I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but it kind of sounds, in my head, it kind of sounds similar to he doesn't paint people, he only paints animals, but he paints animals interacting with modern landscape.
Yeah, no, I know his work.
Yeah.
So I like his work a lot. He's like New York guy or whatever, right?
I'm not sure where he's
He does like the whole juxtaposition with the animal with inside the urban area.
Yeah.
Polar bear in a tagged up building.
Yeah, that might be. Well, he might have that because there's also that other person that does stuff like that. I don't know what that person's name is, but I just know their work.
And then Larry Moore started doing something similar too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see the last one he just posted about it was a crane with a graffiti wall behind it, like tagged up. So it's super. I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah, I saw some studies he did, but I didn't see the finished piece.
He just posted it. So.
Nice.
Check that out.
So I always because I did graffiti in my past life, I'm always like harshly judging when artists paint graffiti weirdly. I'm like, no, or they pick like the wrong stuff. It's like, that's actually shitty.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
Yeah. This is more like tagger style background.
Yeah. That's what I actually like. So that's where I'm judgmental. I'm like, you should have picked better tags.
Well, those train cars, I might go do a painting just to fuck with you because the train cars are all tagged up. This is a matter of getting to them.
They don't move, so they've just been, they call them like whole carts or whatever. So where you go there with roller poles and you fill it from top to bottom. And so like every once in a while you see like a new one where you're like, all right, well that one's a full cart now, and they just keep growing and growing. So
now I know what to call it, full cart. If it is one. Does the whole thing have to be top to bottom?
Top to bottom, yeah. And there's been people where they like where they've done like a letter per cart.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So like it'll be like one letter, one full cart. And then what's funny is like the carts will separate and like get configured in different ways. So then someone will be like, oh, someone cut the S, in this area or whatever. But it's, and I don't know, I don't even know what that's called. That's just some next level, I don't know, thing. But yeah. Yeah, that's. But yeah, those carts are actually pretty cool. They got some cool stuff on it.
Yeah, I need to check it out and see what they got going on.
Yeah,
get a little closer.
Yeah, I know. I remember I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was explaining to him graffiti stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's like similar to plein air." Because I was like, "Yeah, there was this cool spot, just like graffiti and a river, and like it was nice to like hang out and like, maybe like crack a beer and like." Swim in the water or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like this weird thing. And he was like, oh, yeah, it sounds like plein air, but just a totally different version of it.
Yeah.
You're just, so, yeah, it's like, I just enjoy the little nooks that graffiti artists figure out. It sounds very similar in a weird way, but very different in the way you create the work you create. And that we're just leaving something behind, and you guys are taking, I guess, from it. No, not necessarily in that. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
you're taking in the surroundings. We're, being humans and leaving our mark.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
I always keep my eye out for that kind of stuff. It's like, where can I find, we're looking for tagged up walls under bridges and stuff.
There's I don't know if you're familiar with the Niles Canyon.
No, I'm not.
It's not close to here, but it's in the East Bay area, and they have some really cool locations that kind of go. There's an old train that runs. So I think it still runs, but there's a lot of really interesting like graffiti / like nature spots within that realm.
Yeah, that
are really cool. I know I know some spots around here. I don't know what spots would be fun to paint though. Yeah. Mostly like tunnels and stuff.
Niles Canyon's like in Fremont?
Yeah, like near Fremont.
That's down by Fremont, all right.
Yeah.
That's
pretty far.
Yeah. But that's if you're ever in the area, in that East Bay area trying to paint, for sure, go check that spot out.
There's so much graffiti in the East Bay. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, that's like the East Bay is just wild, but this is like nature and graffiti kind of colliding, and like the old train will pass through because they'll have like tourists that will ride the train and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's like all these it's like this weird environment that's really kind of cool. But yeah, the East Bay in general is just, that's just a graffiti kind of mecca. I kind of drool. Some areas I'm like, whoa. I know, it's actually dangerous for me to drive in like the East Bay sometimes because I gotta keep my eye on the freeway. But yeah, it's not safe. But God, I know I'm trying to think if there's anywhere cool that has like nature and graffiti around it. There's like kind of spots, but not really like. Not really. If I could think of one, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
There's a little like weird creek spot, but I don't know. It doesn't feel plein air-y. You know what I mean? It feels like, because you have to like go down this random path, and then all of a sudden it opens up to this tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a lot of trees and stuff around you, but it feels like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like, at least I've never seen something like that in plein air.
Yeah. That's kind of what we're after though.
Because it's like canopy-ish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Is there light coming through?
I think so. I haven't been there in a while. But that's in Windsor. I don't know. So the way it works is that there's kind of like a border that you have to like stay in. Is that correct?
Kinda, right? We have
not anymore. They kind of got rid of any boundaries for this event because they were just sick of people just painting like oak trees and hills all the time. They just want to like go to San Francisco or something, show us something new.
like they on the website. It's like, or the information they sent out was like Sonoma, Marin, and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Windsor's like way the hell up that way though.
It's
like the next town north.
It's like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, really? That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not bad. It might be 10. I don't know. 10.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And this would be like the spot I'm thinking of is like right off the freeway a bit. You actually, the tunnel is actually under the freeway.
Do you remember which exit?
Yeah, I don't want to say on this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could probably find it.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you for sure.
My nose knows.
This one's a little sneaky because there's like a false bridge that you go under and you're like, this ain't shit. And then there's like a random little kind of like trail and you have to follow that through. And it feels like you're walking into nothing. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, this is kind of cool. And there's like a lot of really old shit from like the 90s that are still there and things like that.
Old shit from the 90s.
I mean, graffiti's not that old. I mean,
That's awesome.
at least the modern version of graffiti is pretty. It's like 80s and up,
Cool.
like early. I mean, so yeah, if you get something in like the early 90s, you're like, fuck things. I mean, yeah, it's been there for what 30 years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, that's wild.
Crazy.
But yeah,
And it's like, every now and then you like, well, when you go driving on the from Palm Springs to LA, we'll say, right? You go by the reservation, the heck's the name of it? Cabazon. Anyways, there's still an Obey poster on one of their billboards.
oh really?
It's reservation land.
I see.
So that like you can still see the Obey, and then I'm like, how long ago did he do that one?
Right.
Like,
And it's still stuck.
yeah, it's still stuck. Like it's not all there, but
Yeah.
been very weathered.
Yeah.
But it's still there though. It's like every time I drive by it, I'm like, there it is. It's still there.
But there's like I know in the like there's little like like tags or whatever that exist from certain artists, and everyone kind of like everyone that knows about it, and they're like it's almost like you're counting down the days till it's not there anymore. You're like, oh shit, it's still there, and then the day, and every once in a while one will get crossed off that list, and you're like, oh, that's gone. That was there for so long.
Yeah.
It survived so many like city employees not catching it or something to paint over it. But yeah. I mean, I guess that Obey's in a good spot because
Yeah, it's on reservation land.
that thing will probably live till it just peels fully off.
I'm surprised that it's been there because that's money for them because it's seriously a billboard.
Oh, it's on the front of the billboard.
Yeah, it's on the front of the billboard. They just haven't done anything on that.
Oh, really? Huh.
Well, I'm wondering, like, if they're like, okay, we got Obey up there. Screw it.
Yeah.
Cut that down and frame it and throw it in an auction.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, you can do that now. I'm dark enough. Get on a res. Cut the billboard in half. Look what I got, honey.
You get.
She'd be so pissed.
I know there's like videos of like people doing that with bank skis and stuff, where a guy will, like go up and like cut a thing down, and everyone will yell at him and stuff like that. And yeah, so I mean, I ripped that off a wall.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, where'd that come from?
It was a little burnt down security shed that had that on. And I was like, I'm ripping that off.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, and then the thing got bulldozed down soon after.
Oh, well, there you go.
And now it's a skyscraper in San Francisco. Like that empty lot has become a building. So yeah, so this still lives on. I don't know if the artist is happy, but I'll never sell it. But
what can you do? Yeah. I had to take it.
Yeah, sorry.
And you knew this building was being demoed anyway. So
yeah, it's like, but I don't know. I wonder if
was that on Market Street?
It was. Do you know that where they have like the bus graveyard where like kids and there was like a skate spot right next to it?
Yeah.
So it was right there. So there's like the train graveyard, the skate spot, and then there was this empty field like kind of in this section, and that had a security booth, and then it was fenced off. And in that area, there's a building there now. So yeah,
the skyline is different there now.
Oh yeah.
Like when did they? Oh my god, dude! What the hell?
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, the city's just different. So
yeah.
So I mean, things change
big time.
Yeah.
Like I've heard, with the rents dropping and stuff, people are moving back.
Yeah, or people are moving apartments a lot. I know that's happening a lot too. People are like, "Oh, I found this other place that's half the thing is rent control, so I locked in a new price."
Yep.
And you're like, "Fuck,
cool,
man."
We when we lived there, we graduated in 97 from the academy. So before we moved in, we were living in Western Addition. Had this great little apartment, $700. It was like a 800 square foot single or bedroom, one bedroom. And then we started looking at places to move so I could have more studio space. We're all like, yeah, maybe we'll move. And that's when all the .com stuff was happening. And people were lining up with letters of recommendation and a check. And we're like, my wife and I are looking at each other. We're like, guess we ain't moving.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah. I know not only should you have not moved, but you should have held on to that apartment.
That was what we tried to keep it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we tried to sublet it or like get people in on like, hey, if we all pay this much a month, the rent was $700 a month.
Yeah.
And
no one was into that idea.
Nobody was into it. I was just fresh out of art school and I had no money. And then because we moved to LA and was like, my wife had a job. So
I'm sure there's a way to like have a business of just being a subletter in San Francisco at this moment.
Yeah. When we moved out, the girl that was in the, below us in the front, she had a studio and her rent for the studio was like, $1,100 a month. So when we moved out, the landlord's like, awesome, $1,400 a month. And she was like, moved up into that. And I'm like, crazy.
She could have just took the deal.
Yeah.
You should have just sublet it.
Well, I would have had I known what was going on. And had I known that she would have jumped on moving into it, totally would have sublet it to her. Yeah. Because we can afford that shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still that whole neighborhood's changed. It's all been gentrified.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Well, I knew it was totally different when I saw an Asian lady on like Fell, and she was pulling out her brand new Porsche out of her driveway.
Yeah.
Out of the garage. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. This neighborhood is not what it used to be.
No. I mean, I don't know if there's any neighborhood like that. I mean, maybe what's the one by Candlestick?
Oh, Hunter's Point.
Hunter's Point. But even then, I think they're
that was sketchy back then, dude.
I mean, it's been sketchy. I think I'm sure that hoods don't change overnight. So like,
oh no, like even so, what I'm staying with my wife's aunt in Nevada. She was in the mortgage business, and so she was like, "You guys should buy in the city right now while you guys are here. It's still cheap." Like, and we're like, "What can we afford?" Like, so she did our numbers, and you can afford this much. It was like $180,000 worth of buying something. So we're like, well, what can you buy in the city for $180,000? And this is in the 90s. So we're like,
Oh,
so we found a place, 14th and Mission, aka Heroin Heights.
Okay.
We stayed where
14th and Mission is still pretty like,
gnarly.
yeah, it's a little gnarly little pocket
It's
still.
still gnarly there. I would not subject my wife to living there.
Yeah. Yeah, that has not been gentrified yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Hunters Point slowly, they just start they keep knocking down old apartments and booting people out and building the same fucking condos that you see everywhere.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I don't know. But that, I mean, because I lived a lot of my life in East Palo Alto, and that's a very hoodish city,
Yeah.
and obviously it's butted up next to Palo Alto, so that money is slowly squeezing in. And I got like my cousin still lives there, and he lives in a pretty sketchy neighborhood. He's like, yeah, it's weird because you just see like ladies jogging down the street. It's like she doesn't understand that she shouldn't do that. Like, she doesn't get the dangers involved.
You know, hey, lady wearing the hot yoga pants,
Yeah.
jogging.
Yeah,
Don't do that here.
yeah. He's like, yeah, and the guy will just walk his little dog around. It's like, yeah, do they not know where they're at? But it's just like, it's like that. I don't know. It's like this weird pressure of like jogging and dog walking that changes the location. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's like the Shameless, the show. Did you watch that?
I have watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I watched it. I haven't watched. I'm not like fully caught up, but it's like my MJ. She always tells me that it's like a literal story of my family. Like,
it's
the parallels are almost exact.
it's funny
For the
It's a
first
funny show.
5 seasons
Wow.
or however many.
It slipped.
It
slipped
It's-
like the last season.
fell off. Like, I think the redheaded boy. Like,
Yep.
he becomes like gay Jesus.
Yep.
That season, I was like, this is just like, this isn't even like rooted. Like, this isn't even reality anymore. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like some weird.
That was hilarious, dude.
Yeah,
Hey, Jesus.
but it just becomes like a weird. Like, is this not supposed to be rooted in reality anymore? Kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what.
It just became like I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know.
I tried to get through all the way through the end, but I was like, I'm just done. You know.
Have you ever watched that show, Sergio?
I have not.
No. This is an ongoing thing.
Just watch the first 5 seasons.
Okay.
I don't even know it's the first 5. I just know like
The first 3 are the best.
Frank is like literally my dad. Like in a weird kind of way.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a weird show. And I like the early seasons because it feels real. You know what I mean? It just is like documenting like a dysfunctional family.
Yeah, and then they start getting gentrified, you know, and like
That's right.
The gay couple moves in, and they're
that's
buying
right.
up the neighborhood, and you know, so there's the whatever coffee yoga places that Frank's all anti, like when that shit starts coming in your neighborhood, watch out. And now that's happening.
Yeah, that's right.
So he goes, "Oh, what?"
But yeah, that's Palo Alto or East Palo Alto. Whenever I talk to like friends or family that are still living there, it's like, yeah, it's weird. It's just like money and no money, like intermingled in the city. But you know, if you own your house though, you're in a good spot.
Yep.
Because those motherfuckers are coming in and buying shit. You just sit on that lottery ticket till everyone there is walking dogs and wearing yoga pants and jogging, and then all of a sudden you can like cash out that ticket and you go, cool.
Bye.
Yeah.
Where do I go now, though?
You just move to the other hood because you're comfortable in that area, and then you buy a house for cheap, and you're stacked.
Come to Santa Rosa. Yeah.
Oh, fuck no. I mean, they can't build houses fast enough here.
Wow.
Plus the fires are burning, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yep.
So every house you build, you gotta like build 2 for the one that burnt down. It's fucked.
It's crazy. Yeah. Fire season.
Yeah. I mean, Southern California, you guys are denser than a motherfucker, right?
Yes. That is true.
You guys are
With where we live, we're like North County, San Diego.
Okay.
So fortunately, we have the Camp Pendleton.
mhm.
It gives us that little space between us and Orange County.
Mhm.
Because if that wasn't there, it would have been just constant all the way down.
Mm. Wow.
That saves, I think, San Diego.
That makes sense.
So, but they build on the base whatever they want. There's oceanfront properties and shit.
Really?
Practically, yeah. And they're like, it's like that's the officer housing.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Is it privately owned?
No, that's military housing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's a weird world we live in. I just need to stop learning about shit.
Yeah, it's like when I saw those going up, I was like, oh, do they have to talk to the Coastal Commission about this? Like,
Yeah.
We talked earlier about NFTs. Did you want to talk about that at all?
sure. I know nothing.
I mean, I barely know anything. Sergio?
I probably know less than both of you guys.
All right. Good on you.
I really don't. We're probably equal.
Because
I just learned from Josh earlier when we started.
I know because I actually probably know an okay amount, but I'm always like listening to people in this realm and hearing kind of where they think this is going to go, because I think in general, like all that kind of crypto world is like the idea is that it might potentially take over like fiat currency,
Yeah.
and some and like the way the internet kind of took over all media, not just it didn't become a different.
I heard something about the government trying to
Regulate it
or start their own thing to kind of squish it.
It
But,
would be.
That was probably a meme on Instagram. That's how I get my news these days.
Well, China started their own, or they're starting their own cryptocurrency, and they squashed all other cryptocurrency in their country. Although there's like, they kind of did. But yeah, so people moved the fuck out. But it's kind of one of those things where like, the way people explain it is kind of like, it's almost like if a country tried to not have the internet. Like this is kind of, and China tries to kind of like regulate their internet pretty heavily. So, so it's kind of like that. It's like whoever kind of adopts, they think will have the most potential to grow. Whoever tries to like squash will end up being left in the dust. So it's like who's going to be potentially gain all of this technology first based on like being open-minded to that idea, but you have to give up kind of being able to manage currencies, which is complicated.
Yeah.
But I mean, NFTs is like it's the most affiliated with art.
So you think it's not going anywhere?
No, I don't. I actually think it's going to be like how Instagram is with art.
Okay.
Like it'll just be adopted by artists in a way that like it's just like if someone was an artist and they're like, I don't have Instagram, you'd be like, that's crazy. You don't. I mean, the idea. So one of the things to think about, at least for me, that I get excited about is that like right now, social media can dictate how we create, right?
Yeah.
And there's no monetary gain, like direct monetary gain through that. So this has the potential to become a thing where it's a platform like Instagram, but there's a huge gain to artists from this technology. So there's monetary gains, and there's an ability to have censorship. So you can create the work you want to create without having, like if you paint nude models, you won't get your work pulled down or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
you won't get the nipple fine.
Yeah, and I think there'll be like a lot of. Yeah, I think you'll see social media starting to try to like combat this by figuring out how to pay people to stay on their platforms, is my guess. Because there's going to be too much money floating around. It's going to be like, I don't know. If you think of NFTs as like a version of your own kind of money, you, the artist, that's like a good way of kind of, and then attaching that to a product that can be tracked in a way. Then if you open your mind up to that, then you could see how like, like as your own entity, how you can use that for your own gains, like in your own like kind of being self-sufficient as an artist rather than relying on Instagram and their algorithms and shit like that and all that other nonsense that we all have to kind of like sign up for because there's no other player in town.
Got it.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because
seems like there's a lot to it.
Well, it's like trying to explain the internet. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's everything and kind of like has the ability to be everything, but also like a thing that you, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's endless possibilities, I suppose, is how to explain it. I'm always trying to tell MJ about the whole world, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like super interesting because you literally become your own, I don't know, like city, your own like thing. You know what I mean? So
okay. So it's kind of like some of the video games where you know
Half-Life or something.
Whatever you're building your like what the kids play.
Yeah. What's that called?
More like Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah.
Building your own town, your own farm, your own whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah.
My kids played this farm one.
Oh, right.
Like, start off with a little shack. Oh, now I have enough money that I can buy a cow, Dad. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. It's super interesting to me. It's like, I don't know. And I think I think in like 5 years, it'll kind of just be a standard thing that we all have and use.
5 years. That's not very long.
No, I don't think so. I think, and then at least I think the savvier people will be like the way I've heard someone explain just crypto in general is like, this is like what 2000 was for the internet. Like that's where we're at now. It's like,
okay.
It's like, and then this like scaling to where it is now where everyone has it all the time.
Yeah.
But the idea that it might go quicker because we already have iPhones. So
yeah, I have a friend he's been dabbling in different cryptos and he's, so I'm like the show I'm going to have, the gallery. She's a client of his. He does, entertainment systems and, blinds and whatever. So he's putting in like an NFT, trying to talk her into putting an NFT spot in the gallery. And I was like,
oh, interesting.
Well, what? Isn't that like virtual world? How do you do that? So,
right. Yeah. I don't know.
Sounds like I need to go talk to him more.
To me, NFTs are just like in my mind, I think of it like it's your own personal coin.
Yeah.
That's how I think about it. So it's like I created a coin that's attached, and I would attach it to an actual physical object. And if you want this coin, you have to give me a different coin, like Ethereum or Solana or Cardano or all the ones. There's a grouping of types of coins that allow you to build NFTs on. So NFTs for the most part built on the Ethereum platform. So you trade Ethereum for your NFT.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So like if you think of it as like my own personal coins that I created, and if I just think the coin has value, then I can say, give me this much Ethereum for my coin. And if you think of the artwork on a dollar bill, so that's how a lot of people like. So a lot of people they think that the NFT has inherent value for being art. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think a lot of people are. So maybe they're right. I might be dead wrong about this, depending on how it comes out, but I just think it's like how a dollar bill has artwork on it. And because of the type of file, the non-fungible file, so that it's like you could just never recreate that specific artwork on that dollar bill to like forge that NFT is it's like a non-forgeable coin.
Got it.
If that makes sense. At least that's how it
makes a little sense that way. Actually.
So if you just think of it as like a coin and how you could attach it to like your art, that's how I would try to implement it. It's like, I have art or a print or whatever, and you can get one NFT with this artwork, and it's attached to, and like, and then it's kind of like, what are the fucking things they put on the back of prints, or the sheet of paper or whatever?
Oh, the authenticity.
Yeah.
Authenticity. Yeah.
In my mind, it almost plays that role, but like a better version of it.
But in order to attach it to a piece of art, you need it. Like, there's websites to do that on, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the hard part to wrap my head around, like how that actually how you actually have to go around and actually do that.
What do you mean?
Like, what do? You just like upload a picture of the painting you're trying to sell or whatever to the website, and then like you have to link your actual like your wallet or whatever to the website as well. Like, that's the part that I don't totally understand.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done this yet. I would assume there's crypto wallets. So I assume you'd figure out how to set up payments, and then you upload it, and there's a smart contract attached to the files. And those are going to be forever connected to that thing. And, you can't like edit it at all, like it's an uneditable thing. So it just lives as the thing forever. I don't know if that helped you understand it all or not.
I guess the contract part helps me understand it a little bit. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's why. So Bitcoin is like the first one, right? And then when they created Bitcoin, they wanted to have things so you could change features on it, but they were worried about security risk. So they decided not to go that route. But then Ethereum was created as like this version where you can edit it, which allows for NFTs to exist and for smart contracts to exist, so that you could create, instead of it just being like a thing, like Bitcoin is, it's like a thing that stores value. That's what its purpose is.
Okay.
This thing can be a thing that you could attach to whatever, and it can become whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if that art is kind of what an NFT is, like in general, right? Like a painting, for the most part, is something that holds value, and people can't just copy it, and it like gains that value. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And there's obviously like the forgers of the world that like fake painting or whatever, and yada yada, and then they might get away with it, especially if they're doing like paint splatters or some shit like that. But that's kind of like what an NFT is.
Okay.
It's like this thing that holds value and can't be duplicated, which is what a painting is, but it's a digital version of that. I don't know if that helps at all.
Yeah.
And then if you think of it as a coin rather than the values, which is how I think of it, then it's like, all right, well, I'll just attach that to like, it's like a painting you trade for value, right? So if you just think of a painting as a coin, right, as like this make-believe dollar bill, that's the same thing. It's like, this thing is worth $1,000. So you give me $1,000 and I give you $1,000, but as a painting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, at least for me, that's how the concept is.
Okay.
Everything seems to be slowly getting defined. And I think nothing's concrete until things become successful, which I don't know. Still in the wind. But I don't know. I was gonna try to hear your take, but it sounds like you're like,
I don't have a take on it.
Yeah.
It's all new to me, really.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's new
techie stuff. I'm not, I just, a lot of it's like whoosh, over my head, man.
Yeah.
So this is like school's in session right now.
I think it's just like how much things can get adopted and then it all makes sense. It's like MySpace, right?
Yeah.
Before like anyone had it, if your friend was like, yeah, it's this thing you put pictures on.
Yeah.
And other people, and you become friends with people and you're like, who are the people and what are the, and then all of a sudden you're like, and then once it becomes this thing that everyone adopts, then it like starts flushing itself out and becoming, then MySpace dies because for whatever reason, and then other social medias become more valuable and these things fine tuned to like, I mean, I don't know if they've even fine tuned yet, but
I've seen like, William Ray has a couple of his superheroes that he's put on there. And that's like Alex Schaefer. Do you know Alex Schaefer?
That name sounds right.
Burning Bank guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, we met through the California Art Club way back when. But he started doing some NFTs with his bank series that he did.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, are you selling those? He's all, yep.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, hey, all right.
Yeah, there is legitimate money to be had, and if you're,
So you can actually get money out of it, like
oh yeah,
cash money. You change your money. I don't know how that works.
So
you exchange your Bitcoin.
It'll be most likely Ethereum. And then so you can transfer that for real cash.
I keep thinking of that Netflix show.
Which one?
The one with the guy that like
Black Mirror or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's one of them. No, the other one, like he was a programmer and he worked at like what the fuck's the name of that?
So was it? I was going to say wasn't there
Mr. Robot.
Okay.
Mr. Robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a Netflix show. I've never watched it. I've seen the trailer.
It's a trip, dude. It's a trip.
But yeah.
But this, like, when Ethereum and like the big, like,
so Ethereum's around like $4,000 a coin right now. So if you get one Ethereum for NFT, you get $4,000. People are selling, like NFTs for like shitty artists are selling NFTs for like 4 Ethereum. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you do the math and you're like, holy shit, to sell a painting for that much would be a pretty exciting moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they're selling just the image, basically, digital image of it. And they're getting $4,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you could, I mean, I've cashed out some of my coins and shit like that, for real money. And but on top of that, it's like Ethereum went up like if you got like 2 ETH like a month ago, it like raised in price by 100%. It's like you just doubled your profits on a painting that you sold a month ago if you just hold on to that coin. And then the more things get adopted, the more the price is going to raise. So it's like it's just based on adoption of the thing. So Ethereum, the more people use it, and then there's like the competitors of it. So I have like this other coin that's a competitor, and I'm hoping it gets adopted because there's these things called gas fees and things like that, where like the effort it takes for all the things to happen for you like create the thing and sell the thing, like an NFT. Cost money, because it takes energy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this thing's like the fastest and the lowest gas fees, and it was pretty cheap earlier when I bought it, and now I think it's like up 300% since last month.
Wow.
300%.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's and I think it'll go even higher. I think but it's like one of those things where like you get like you have more chips to play with, I guess, within that realm. And then there's things like Ethereum, right? So like if you were an artist and you were able to get like, I think it's something like 35 Ethereum, then you can do this thing called staking, where you stake the coin and they pay you a monthly amount. Because what it is, it's pretty much like almost like a decentralized bank, I guess, is a way to think of Ethereum as what it is. And so you can stake and they need enough people to stake it for it to be kind of like for it to not seem as fuckable as, if that makes sense. Like it can't get fucked with as heavily the more people stake it. So then they give you an interest rate on that. And because of that, now you can get it. If you get like 35 coins, you can do it all by yourself, or you can do like group stakings. But if you get 35 coins, I think, some shit like that, then they'll cut you a check every month, and it ends up being like a $4,000 check or something like that. And then it grows the longer you keep it in there, to the point where like if you keep it in there for like, I think it's like 8 years, they'll end up paying you, I think, something like $1 million a year.
What?
Because the interest compounds over the time. So like they give you 5% in the first year. I think it goes like, I forget what it goes every year, and then by the end you're like making crazy amounts of money.
Wow. And how much is? So you have to have 35 coins. How much is one coin?
It's $4,000 right now.
Okay.
So yeah, so you'd have to like, but you can do
that's a lot of coins.
Yeah. So you can do a thing where you can pool your coins with other, like there's these entities that will pool everyone's coins.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's like these exchanges that will allow you to do it. So they will do it for you, and you get those payments. But it's just trying to figure out. That's why like the coin I'm fucking with right now, that's like Ethereum's competitor. I was aiming for like 30 something coins. So if they grow and they do staking, then I can throw that in there and then potentially have a paycheck over my lifetime for just kind of being early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, smart.
And then I don't have to sling my paintings like a whore. I can just do them and hope they sell.
Isn't that fun?
and not feel the pressure of it.
It's crazy.
But it's just trying to pursue freedom, I suppose.
Yeah.
Especially as an artist, that's like the
That's
goal,
key,
right?
Yeah.
So you can spend 300 hours doing a mosh pit painting.
Stupid mosh pit painting.
That's the goal. That's the dream.
That's the dream, baby.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're in for, people. You want this life? Come get it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Come torment
I don't know.
yourself.
I don't know if that helps you at all. I just think it's...
it gives me more information, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
I won't be a total idiot talking about it now. I'm like, well, you know about NFTs.
Yeah. And the guy doing like the government regulation, who's like kind of running that project, he actually has I think it's like a MIT mathematician guy, and he has a lot of knowledge of cryptocurrencies in general. So a lot of people think that he'll be pretty good with making sure the regulation doesn't suck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's all a fucking risk. But yeah, I don't know. To me right now, NFTs is like I in my opinion, I think people should first of all, not have the artist hipster mentality where we're all anti it, because if it's inevitable, you want to be able to like understand, you want to be able to like have some know-how of how to maneuver in that world if it becomes that, because
well, that's the thing is like, you got to know about it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah. And you gotta, because it ends up being a thing that can be freeing for you if you understand it, you know.
Yeah.
And in that case,
Yeah,
should.
I mean, if we're gonna be kind of forced into doing it, then gotta learn about it.
Well, I don't even know if it's a forcing. It's just you'll be left behind. Eventually,
Yeah.
If you don't, or you'll be taken advantage of if you don't understand it or things like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If that's where it's going. Yeah, because that whole world, it takes effort from you. As the whole idea is that you have to be self-sufficient, kind of like you're your own bank, you're your own coin, like you're your own. So you have to like be able to manage that whole mentality.
Yeah.
You know, like that whole everything about it. Unlike a lot of technologies that kind of allow you to do things easier, this is almost like it allows you freedom, but it might be a little harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know how things will get manipulated or, you know, whatever in the future. We'll probably look back on this and be like, oh, you know, the NFTs today might be the MySpace of tomorrow.
Right.
But it's still good to kind of play around on MySpace. That when the real shit seems to be happening, you have an idea of how to go about things.
Yeah.
My opinion. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird world, though. I don't know. I still haven't seen. Well, David Chaffetz has been doing cool stuff.
Oh,
but because it's digital, I think there's that weird disconnect between like the fine artist so far. But I don't think it will last long.
I think more and more are thinking about it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Been messing around with those too.
Dude, what is that? What isn't that? I mean, that guy's got his hands in everything.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your hand out my pocket.
So he's got his hand in our pockets as well. Yeah.
Has he been doing good with it?
That's a good question. I don't know, actually.
Ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's back from Europe.
Well, I don't know.
No, I think he is. But he went over to Italy with the family. I'm like, bastard, take me.
Yeah.
Forget your kids.
Yeah.
I don't care about them. Seeing where you lived, I want to go where. Hey, you know, whatever. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I mean, yeah. I'm not going to diss him. He's a good dude.
Yeah. I didn't know that's the route you were going.
No, I wasn't. It was just like, I just know some things about him. And, you know, it's not, we don't need to be public about it. So that's all.
They used to, he used to be ex-CIA or something.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm not.
His dad's a doctor. We'll just say that.
Okay.
So, you know,
Yeah.
my dad was not a doctor.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I always battle this weird I have a similar mentality. There's it's like there's the obsession with artists, right? That I feel like don't come from struggle to like almost experience struggle so that their work can have value, right? Like they're like, oh, I need to go be poor. You know what I mean? I knew a lot of kids that lived in Palo Alto that like live in Oakland, in West Oakland, as a way to like, I don't know, be poor. And you're like, you're rich, man. Like your family's rich. Like, I mean, I don't know. There's something, I get it. I think there is like value in understanding other people, right? But it's also like, no one that came from this scenario wants to like stay in it.
No.
They want to like get out and work toward, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, it's weird, the opposite. So yeah, I know. And so whenever there's someone that is an artist that comes from wealth, I mean, I don't even know if I know too many people like that, but I know, you know, like the folks that like come from like, you know, that do like metal balloons and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you're like, all right, well, there's obviously an ease to growing your art value because you have a shitload of rich friends and you understand how a market works. You know what I mean? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
That whole, there's something about it that just annoys the shit out of me. But at the same time, I mean, at the same time, we live in a world that has the fucking internet. And so I'm always like, yeah, well, I have the ability to find my own fucking crowd that fucks with me. They might not have billions or millions of dollars, but I can at least have that freedom that didn't exist 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, not to like toot that up horn again, but like that whole like NFT world is a way for, I think, for artists to kind of understand how to manage their little like market of work.
Okay.
You know, and kind of grasp how that thing exists rather than relying more heavily on like galleries or things to kind of manage that.
Yeah.
However they do that, or if they even think of that as well.
Yeah. Galleries.
Yeah, it's a weird. I mean, I love and hate galleries at the same time.
I'm only kind of in one right now. Yeah.
You're not a polygamist when it comes to galleries?
No.
Yeah.
I had at one time, I think I was in 7 at once, which that was a pain in the ass.
Oh, I can only imagine.
But that's when things are hot.
Okay. Sister wives.
Smoking hot. Was that 2006, 2007?
And it was financially good for you?
Yeah, dude. It was fucking stupid. I sold like $185,000 worth of paintings.
Nice.
Wow.
And I put all that money back into plein air and traveling, and everything took a big crap on us. So it was like, now we have no money.
Damn.
But I had a taste of it, and it was like I got in a gallery that was in Vail, and they in 3 months they sold 33 paintings.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I showed up. This is a smart thing, people. If you are in a gallery that's out of state, go pay them a visit if you can. Because I showed up and they had taken the price that I told them and tripled it.
Oh.
So they had took my wholesale price, and they, most people just double that in the gallery world. They tripled it. So paintings that were, do the math.
Right.
So
you're only getting a 33% cut.
Yeah. So then I show up and I'm like, wait, what the hell? I want fucking half of that, dude.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
Wow.
Fuck that.
And I couldn't, it was really good getting those checks from them, and then the checks got bigger, it was like nice. And then everything went away. So
did the gallery go out of business, or?
No, the gallery's still there. They had like a clientele change in Vail. So it was more like South Americans coming up.
Really?
So they changed kind of their vibe of the gallery at that point. But yeah. So
they lost their collector base. That was their work.
Yeah, they lost a large percent of that, and then they started having this clientele coming from like South America, Colombia, and stuff, and it's like Colombians ski. Cool. Where are they from?
I know they were into white powder, but
and these are the kinds of people flying into Vail, like private jets and stuff. So yeah, it's tapped into that for a little bit, and then then it went away.
Damn.
It was awesome.
You had to make like cartel painting.
Yeah, or they got brighter colored paintings.
Oh yeah.
We'll say.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, Mark,
I know what you mean.
the owner, he also he would go to Russia and find Russian impressionism paintings and bring them back and sell them. And so, but yeah, they're still there. We're still friends.
Nice.
You know, they represent, or I think they still do represent Ron Hicks.
Oh, okay. I know who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know which gallery that is. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but yeah, I know where you're talking about.
Vale International Gallery. So, but they're it was fun.
The Vig.
Yeah.
The big.
So that was good times though.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, can we just have a little taste of that now? I kind of did when I sold that bridge painting. That was awesome.
Oh, okay.
So
Was that this year?
Just this year, yeah. So I painted it. So in January, it came up to move her daughter into her new co-op housing, and it was I was done, and I was staying in Novato. So she's all handling, like setting up her room and doing her thing, and I had a couple days, so I just was running around. It was super clear out, and I was going. My brother was half brother dude was living in San Carlos.
Santa Clara's?
No, somewhere down
San Carlos. I think that's
Near San
around
Jose.
but like north, like he was by Palo Alto, sort of. He was working for Facebook at the time. So on my way down to see him, it was so clear. I had my camera. I just I finally figured out where to park. You know, like you come south, and right when you hit the toll, you take that first right, and that's an area of the Presidio I'd never been. You know, and I'm like, whoa. So I got some really good shots of underneath the bridge, looking through all the scaffolding. So I did.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
So I did that painting for the gold medal show, and some collectors, he had been watching it develop on social media, and they live down by me, and he's like, hey, can we come over and check that out? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much done.
Nice.
He's like, how much do you have it in the show for? And I'm like, can I tell him? And he's like, okay. You know, and so he and his partner come up, and we're in my garage studio and chatting it up. And so this dude, like, you know, this is during COVID and stuff, and they're both super smart guys, and he used to be one of the directors for the CDC. He knows Fauci. And so, like, if I ever had any questions, I'm like, Dr. Mike, what do you think of this? Just keep listening to Fauci, buddy. Just keep listening to him. So they showed up, and they were hemming and hawing about it. And then he's like, well, I really like it, but I think I need to go think about it. I'm like, okay, it's not going anywhere. I'm like, if anything, you know, if you don't make your decision quick, it'll be in the gold medal show. He's all, and I know how that show is. Politics, right? And they have their superior collectors that they allow to see things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shh. Don't tell anybody.
It won't leave this room.
There's some shenanigans that go on. Anyways, they came over, and they went home, and they thought about it, and they texted me that night, hey, I want it. And and it's a 48 by 48 painting.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Like, how do you want me to pay you? I'm all, check's fine. You know,
Small and marked bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sold that.
Nice.
Then I wasn't in the show because the club, they hadn't technically told me that I was accepted into the show. And so I'm like, hey, by the way, call him up. Hey, by the way, I sold that painting. You know, I'm talking to the president of the club, and he's like, cool, good for you. I'm like, but they'll loan it to you for the show. And he's like, will you pay us the commission? And I'm like,
what?
Hell no.
Yeah.
No. Well, it can't be in the show then. And then I'm like, I just, like, the year before, I
should have pretty womaned him. You work on commission? Big mistake.
I the year before I had helped jury that show, the gold medal show.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, so I know, and then there's certain people that they were like, "Hey, can you send us another one? We want you in the show, but we don't really like this painting that you sent us." You know, and these are rock stars turning in their leftovers that shouldn't be turning in leftover paintings for this kind of a show. And so they get that phone call, and I'm like, "No, they should just not be in it." Damn it. But so I'm playing that. I'm all, how about I swap it out for another one? Like this really cool one of mules in Midtown, or this mosh pit one, or
Yeah.
You know, the mosh pit one's too big. We're full. We can't let you in the show. And I was like, what? That is straight up bullshit.
Yeah.
And I might have said some other things. And then I just said, fuck, whatever, Yeah, bye.
Yeah.
So you did a big fuck you?
Pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was the first time I haven't been in that show in, 20 years.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. And just like that, they're like, we're not going to show you.
Yeah. It was a little strange. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So politics and art.
It is a weird world.
So, but I have happy collectors, and they'll get more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those specific collectors.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
So we'll see what happens.
I'm really into that.
And they're new collectors. It's like sweet. Yeah. He was like, I want you to have all the money, not the CAC. I was like,
Yeah.
I love you
It's the CAC.
because I'm broke as fuck. This last year and a half has been brutal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so the whole like group show thing in general isn't great for artists.
No.
I mean, it's a simple idea of like, well, I sell my one painting, I make this much money, and when you sell 20 paintings, you make that much money. Yeah, and it's like we all have overhead, like we all have costs.
Yeah.
You're not the only one, but I if I succeed, I'm not gonna fucking succeed.
Yeah, it's like this show. I have a show in La Jolla, and she's approaching it with a whole different vibe. She's like, I want to help you, and so I was talking to a friend just this morning, Jeff Yamins. Have you heard of him?
That name sounds familiar. Yeah.
He's a artist down in Ocean Beach.
Okay.
Good dude. So I was chatting with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just so over it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you think about this person?" And he's like, "I love her. I like her. I like what she's doing. She wants to help artists. She already has money, so she's not worried about getting more. She's financially set. So, and he was telling me how, like the whole La Jolla Playhouse, a lot of those background painters and stuff were out of work. He's like, yeah, she was hiring people to come and paint murals at her house on her walls.
Wow.
So that they would have work and she could pay them so that they could, because
That's crazy.
I'm like, I like that. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We need more of them. So and my wife's like, what else have you got to do, man? You got a lot of paintings in stacks. Go put those on a wall somewhere.
Right.
I'm like, okay, it's worth the day of setting it up and driving everything down there and setting the show up and doing it. I don't have to, that's all I got to do,
When is that show?
The end of the month, I think. She changed the date.
That's in San Diego?
Yeah, in La Jolla.
Nice.
La Jolla.
It's a nice area.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's funny because there's a ton of money in La Jolla, but they're very tight with it.
Yeah.
So
San Francisco is a similar world.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, just come on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can we just sell 2 paintings, big paintings at this? That would be great. Or how about 1 big one and 1 little one? I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna put the mosh pit in it too, just for fun.
Fuck yeah.
Awesome.
Let's have people see it. I almost sold it to the singer of Rancid.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
he didn't want to pay what I wanted.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like, I dropped my price because I'm all, Tim's interested in it? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, I can go down for him.
Mm-hmm.
Did he know the original price?
Yeah. Yeah. But he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do what we went
The
down to.
discount.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, whatever. You know,
Yeah. Fuck.
most of those guys are giving shit all the time. You know what I mean? They get so much free stuff. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know I've given paintings to some of them, but they're friends. So it's like,
Yeah.
here, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you like cool hats. This is a cool hat painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
oh, it's your birthday? Hey, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's still tough to hear.
but yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
Mm. One thing you just reminded me of was you actually juried a show yourself at the Oceanside Museum. That was like a plein air thing.
Oh yes, the Oceanside plein air. Yep.
Mm-hmm. How was that?
First one. Well, the show was great. It was nice to see so many people there.
Mhm.
It's
A lot of people you knew.
I saw a lot of people that handful of people I knew.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's a lot of new people that I never. That was what was cool about it. It wasn't a juried in thing.
Oh, okay. It wasn't.
No jurying, but they had 266 artists that signed up for that.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like we had a lot of paintings to look through, so we had to thin out the herd
Okay.
down to 40 because they put 40 in the museum.
Did you kill the
No,
when you thinned out the herd? You were just like,
and I was judging it with judging and jurying with John Stern, who's like the plein air historian of the world for California.
does he have a historian voice?
He's super sweet. It's funny. He's so direct. It's awesome. And so John and I, and then the director of the museum, Maria, and we're educated, John and I, and she's not. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to diss her in any way or whatever, but not that she'll listen to the shit. So yeah, it was interesting seeing what she liked. And we're like, no, why not? It just falls apart. Like, there's no shadow underneath these people on the beach. She's like, but it's still loose and fun and all. Yeah, but it's just okay.
That's that shit I don't like.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, what about this one?
That's shit I don't like.
It's so funny. Like she's like, what about this one? It's fun. It's bright. It's like that's like surf art.
Right.
Well, this is Oceanside. What? Okay, you can put that one in.
Yeah.
Well, you have to compromise.
Right.
But
It was the one I hate the least. You can. Put that
it was awesome to see so many people out and painting, and Ryan Jensen came down. He took second place.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's good.
I can't. That whole like, I don't know. When people that don't understand the technical end of art and they talk
Yeah.
about things in a way as if they do, it's one of those things where you're like, you should just stick to what you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, so like I just Saturday I had to show up, and they had the patron dinner party thing, and they wanted me to talk about the show a little bit, and I really hate talking in public, but and I think I suck at it, but so I went off on a tangent with that show, dude. It's hilarious. I had I had my notes that Maria had written up for me, and I was all, yeah, okay. And she's all in, like, this is our 25th anniversary. We started in 1997. And I'm like, and they're talking about like the next party kind of thing coming up. And I'm all, 97, that's when I graduated art school. So I get up on stage and I'm all, 97, that's awesome. I graduated from art school, and then, here we are doing, and so talk about myself, telling about the show. And then thankfully Maria gets back on stage and saves me. She's all, I'm going to help you out. I'm all, I know, I'm just rambling. Kinda. So then we went upstairs and we chatted about art. So when you're talking about people that don't know what they're talking about, this lady's there and she's like, oh, that high school, they had a high school, I forget the name of the high school that got gifted all this collection of art. And so it's a rotating,
I don't know.
It's down in LA somewhere.
Huh.
But they had the show there. So she was talking about how all the big paintings in this show, because these are like Granville Redmond and all the guys.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so she's talking about how these big paintings were plein air and how amazing it was to see these big paintings done in plein air. I'm all, ma'am, actually, those were probably done in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And she's all, no, they were done in plein air. And I'm like, okay. No, they were actually probably done in the studio off of their studies from the area.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And she just was like, you're wrong. I'm like, okay. And I walked away.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Hey, anybody else have any questions?
Yeah.
Just dumb. I was like, you don't know. Oh, whatever. Yeah. All right. So, but it was a good event. It was fun. Definitely awesome to see so many artists in our town.
Yeah.
Because we're Oceanside. We're a military town, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like military, blue collar vibe is what it is. A lot of folks from Orange County have been coming down though, because it's a little more for your money.
Gotcha.
But
That's all right.
Mhm.
So when someone wins that, like the plein air thing, they get like a cash prize usually, right?
yeah, cash
And
prize,
like a ribbon.
a ribbon. Those are always fun. I won an award recently.
Is the money subjective at that point?
Well, they didn't really have this was their first year, so they didn't have a lot of prize money.
Mhm.
I helped get them something from Plein Air magazine,
Right.
something from Southwest magazine,
Okay.
product from Royal Talons. And
Okay.
I'm like,
Mhm.
you guys have so much, you guys need to get more prizes. You need
Mhm.
more money.
Yeah.
They're like, we only have, I'm like, and you need to give, they took 50%. That's the one reason why I wanted nothing to do with painting in the show.
Oh, okay.
Was because of that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, you're a museum that says you're for the artists. Let's make it so that they get 60%. Okay.
right.
So yeah.
I'm surprised more galleries don't try that.
Don't try what?
Just to make the split 60-40. I feel like off the bat, that
There
would make
used
me
to be
more.
more that do that.
They'd
But
be way more inclined to like work with galleries if they're like 60-40. But cool,
Yeah. Well, the show I'm having, we're doing 70-30.
nice.
that's awesome.
And because I brought up because she asked me how the Oceanside show was. And
Mhm.
so I told her, and she's like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, well, if you want me to be in here, 70-30. And she's like, okay.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, well, that's awesome. Like, enough said about that. What next? Here's the schematics of the book. I'm like, okay, cool.
What if I was to say 75-25? What would you have said?
Yeah.
I was like kind of thinking that too. Like, damn it.
Right. Yeah.
It's always funny, like when you have a painting and you price it, and then it sells. You immediately are like, I should have priced it higher.
Right.
And then when something doesn't sell, and you're like, I should have priced it lower. There's like that, like it's like this weird, like immediate, like.
Dude, we're gonna be going through that, setting up for Saturday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, should I?
Yeah.
Do I do full retail for this, or should I lower it down a little bit because it is a plein air show?
Mm-hmm.
It's always funny, right when, like, I always have that instinct, like right when something sells, I'm like, priced it too low. But it's like I should just be happy. I should be like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fucking should have.
I had a painting in the gold medal show, way back, and I probably could have sold that stupid thing like 10 times that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, son of a bitch, I should have fucking raised the price on that.
Yeah. But
It's like,
you
just don't know that going in.
no. And I was still kind of green with like trying to learn, figure that out.
But you want to whittle it down to only one person willing to buy it, and there happen to be. That's what we want. We want it to be a tough decision for them. We don't want them to flippantly be like, "I'll take that." Yeah, awesome. That's the perfect price. How do we figure out?
Brian Blood, that same painting. Brian Blood's like, God damn it, I should have bought it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, you had the money. He's all, I know, and I was hemming and hawing about buying it, and then it sold at the show, and I was so pissed. I was like, well, thanks.
That means
I'll take that.
That means you priced it perfectly. Unless the person that bought it was like, oh yeah. You need them to hem ha ha just a little bit.
They could. I heard, so the person that bought it, they would have paid more for it. And I heard about their collection because they have the collector circle with the club, and they go visit people's, have a little luncheon and see people's collection, and it was up on a wall next to a Wendt.
Oh wow!
So I'm like, it's up on a wall next to a William Wendt. Perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That works.
Yeah.
I'm hanging with a dead guy.
Right. That's all we want. Hang with dead guys.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I walked into some friends of ours that they had a place in the Turnberry. It's on like the Strip in Vegas. It's like private condo kind of thing. So they had one at that time, and so we were in Vegas celebrating our anniversary. We shared the same anniversary as them. They're good friends of my parents, and they had purchased a painting from me when I first started, and they're like, "Hey, your painting's here." I'm like, "Oh, cool." They're all, turn the hall. Let's go around in the hall. Flip the switch, and you'll see it. And I do that. I go around the hall, turn the switch, and there's my painting. To the right of it is a Chagall.
Oh wow!
I was all. And then I go into their bedroom, and they got a Picasso. Yeah, I'm like, what the? Like, damn! I didn't realize you guys were doing that well.
Right.
But she's like, how do you like your neighbor? And I'm all, oh my gosh, yeah.
That's awesome.
They've in turn lost all their money due to gambling. Yeah.
And the Picasso?
They had to sell some of their stuff to.
Did they have to sell the Shroud of Turin as well?
Yeah. They got rid of a bunch of their work. They still have my painting. They're living in a 1-bedroom apartment in Oregon now.
God damn.
Wow.
Yeah, they went from ballers to. That's what happens when you start day trading and you're,
You have a condo in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Just make it too ezy for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this dude, he fucking used to work for Apple, was like the international marketing director to help make Apple become Apple. So, yeah.
And Apple did all right.
Well, I remember visiting, like we came up to the Bay to go, I forget what we're doing up here, but we were in town and they had a place in Woodside, which it's, right up above the 280 and a state, basically. All I remember is going into the bar. That was the raddest, sitting in their bar. But yeah, just opulent, over the top.
Yeah. It's a nice little nook.
But then somebody had a gambling issue and
Good.
lost some money on day trading and then started trying to make it back and started losing money gambling too, so yeah.
That's brutal.
Should have gone into NFTs.
Yeah. It's like, shit, I should have started in NFTs.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn. Well, it is what it is. How the fuck do you get to a 1-bedroom apartment, though?
I don't know, man. I don't get that person. I'm like, how did you
fall that far?
You go from living on Lake Oswego, your next door neighbor's Portland Trailblazer types, and to having to sell all your shit and go into the house you were going to give your kid. Then you had to sell that. And now you're in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Well, to think if you kept that apartment in San Francisco, you could be subletting to them.
Yeah, there you go.
I could be.
Big mistake. You could be cashing those checks right now.
They still owe my parents money. My dad bailed them out of some shit. And, well, since he passed, they haven't sent a check. It's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
My mom's like, fuck them. I don't care. Okay, Mom.
Should go take the painting back off the wall.
So I'm surprised they still have it.
Was it a small painting?
Like 12 by 16 or 1620, whatever. 1620.
Well, the good thing is if you ever went to go grab the painting back, you wouldn't have to figure out what hall it's down.
Yeah, that's true.
You just walk in and be like, there it is.
Where else could it be?
Yeah. I need a picture of that thing because it's a good painting. It's like a truck parked in a parking lot at the beach, but with buildings and stuff behind it and a surfboard sticking out of the back of it.
Nice.
It's like, send me a picture of that. No, I'm arguing with you right now.
Wow.
They're Trump supporters, dude. I was like,
okay.
Enough of that.
I mean, they seem to make real good decisions. So,
hey, yeah, the ears are probably burning right now. It's awesome. Yes, I talked about you on a podcast. No names were given, but
yeah, Jackie and Steve.
Probably not very hard to figure out, though. So yeah.
Well,
they still have my painting though. That's all right. Yeah. I just don't like the family drama with it, So it's sad.
Yeah, that's a weird. Yeah, that's a. I don't know if there's anyone I have issues with that own a painting of mine. Well, I'm still
totally brought on by them. It's not my fault this time. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Or else you'd be like, yeah, keep the painting.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well,
I have like a painting that I did when I was in school that that's so I don't know if you've ever seen my Suburban on social media. It's a 71 Suburban, so it's orange with white top. I traded it for this man smoking cigar, which I did at the Academy.
Okay.
Illustration 5 or whatever the hell that was.
Sure.
And she's like, I want this, I'm like, I want your car. And she's like, I'm like, are you up for barter? And she's like, yeah, actually I am.
Huh.
And she's like, I want this man smoking cigar one. I'm all, damn it. Cause this is a good painting. I'm like, okay, we can do that. I'm interested in this one too. I'm like, are we agreeing on this? Cause I will fly up and it runs. I'll drive it home. And my brother, so that's what we did. We drove up, we flew up, and I came with the extra painting that she liked. I carried that on with me.
Yeah.
And I'm all, and I brought this one too, carried both painting. I don't know how I got the fucking things on the plane.
Yeah.
Because one of them was 24. The cigar one was 2436.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. So I think, oh no, I checked that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I carried on the other one. And so she's like, okay. And she wrote a check. Like, here you go. I'm like, awesome. Thank you. So I paid, my whole trip was paid for, gas, airfare, hotel, all done, So my brother and I flew up there, and, which was hilarious because he was kicking meth. Fucking dumbass. So he's all like, just not very fun to be with on this trip.
Right.
We go up there and, I had my friend who was living in Tacoma. He went and checked it out. So, later on, I'm stoked. I got the Suburban. We drive home. I have this cool car now. And, a few years later, because she's like, would you be interested in, like, at some point, would you buy it back? Or, because I did mention that. I'm like, if you ever want to sell it, and I have the money, I could be interested in buying the painting back from you.
Mm-hmm.
She ends up getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, and she emails me, and this is like around 2008 or 9 or whatever. So I have no money,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like,
no one does.
yeah. I'm like, she's like, what do you think of, and you mentioned, and I'm like, I wish you would have hit me up 2 years ago because I had plenty of money then. And I would have totally bought it back.
Mm.
I'm sorry, I can't. And I was just like, because I wanted it back.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that lady is now.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So you never got the painting back?
Never got the painting back.
Mm.
I don't know if she sold it or what, because that was like part of the thing with her husband. It's like, you have to get rid of that painting, and like,
Why?
And I don't know. It's like they were splitting everything up.
Oh, I see. So they just wanted to split value.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, sorry.
Damn
it.
That's weird. Huh. I mean, you could have technically traded her the car, given her the car back.
Not after what I did to it. I put a new motor and tranny in it, and had it lowered down and not slammed, but just lowered so I could drive it and not be all top heavy. And, but yeah, did all that for barter too. So
wow. Nice.
Painted a mural on a guy's house in the ceiling.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was Nightmare Before Christmas. His wife loves that movie. So, like, in their big giant house in Riverside, they had a sitting room, about a 10 by 12 by 12 kind of sitting room, outside of the bathroom. And so I put a mural up there, and he worked on my car for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a trip. I had to use a mirror to project it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, how am I going to get this up there? And so I had to do the reversed image so it would be right, And so I put it on a little boom. Oh, this is awesome. Just block out all the windows, and they're all into the rock and roller. So like, we got blackout curtains, bro. And then it's like, all right. Drew it up and painted it and had that done, and my part was done quick. They took forever to work on the fucking car. Yeah. So finally got it back though at some point. So
I know that's always tricky when you've paid your part. I mean,
yeah.
No, I need my thing.
Harder, smarter, but it's also a pain in the ass too. I had another guy that was going to work on it for me. He lives right by me. He had that thing for like 2 years. And I was just like, can I please get my car back? I don't even care. Well, I'm like, it's been at your place for almost 2 years now. Come on, dude. What the fuck? And my wife was getting pissed. She's like, are you going to handle this?
Wow.
Because she loves driving in it. So
okay.
She's like, that's like our, it's just a fun time. And so I'm like, I'll get it. And so finally I got it back, and it's just like, he just did some half-ass shit on it. That'll have to be repaired later on. So that barter was not smarter.
Not cool.
And he didn't get any paintings. He got nothing.
And
like I took too long. I don't want anything. I'm like, fine.
And I don't know if anyone knows this, but anyone that crosses you ends up in a 1-bedroom apartment in Portland. So
Dun, dun, dun.
better start thinking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe when you barter with Scott, pay up fast.
Pay up.
Or else.
Please pay up quickly, or you'll end up in a studio apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. He's connected to the art mob.
One-man art mob.
I am the art mob. Come on. Maybe that's why so many people don't like me.
I don't know. I like you.
Oh, thanks.
So if you can get me a Picasso or whatever.
It's like, ooh, where do we got to go now?
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we're just doing it, you know.
Yeah. I've never bartered for services. I've only bartered for like other people's work.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of those set up, but I've only been able to do like, 2 of them or something, One was by accident.
What do you mean?
So Logan Maxwell Hageji, do you know who that is?
Yeah, the artist. Yeah.
Yeah, the artist. He and I were doing the Carmel Plein Air event, and
I believe it's pronounced caramel.
Yeah, caramel. That one. So my grandfather passed away while we were on that trip, and so I left early. And I'm like, hey, Logan, will you grab my painting for me?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's left over. He's like, you got it. Safe travels, bye.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called him. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm home. I can come up and get it or, whatever. And he's like, I kind of like it. I'm like, okay. Well, why don't you send me one of yours someday, So I have a nice 12 by 16 portrait that he did.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, of one of the Navajo type.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much is that worth now?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's doing quite all right.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, he's killing it. Like he sold a painting for like one of his big ones for I don't know, like $900,000 or something.
Holy shit! Wow, I didn't know he's doing that well.
Or I might be way off on that.
Or $1 billion.
But he sold out his show too, and like the gallery made over whatever it did.
Mm-hmm.
Like it did over $1 million in sales.
Damn.
With all his work, and I was like,
wow.
Whoa, this is where we need the fact checker guys.
From my research, it shows that they made $1 billion or a gajillion.
Gajillion. Yeah, so
these are the facts.
Sounds like these jokers need to do their research.
yes, please. Perfect.
We don't need.
I saw it on the YouTube.
Yeah, we don't need a fact checker if we have that soundbite. That just clears us of any wrongdoings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Logan's one, and then I did one with I have a bunch set up. So,
cool.
I'm trying to remember his name right now. It's drawing a blank. But he's a badass. He wanted a lot of times when we were doing these plein air shows, back when the market was hot, we would be doing these shows, and he and I we went to lunch. He's like, hey, I want to trade. Hey, I want to trade. Okay, cool. He's like, I want the motorcycle. I'm all, you would. I'm all, I want the rock. Like it's a rock.
Yeah.
And, it's just a rock.
Yeah.
In the water. And it's just gorgeous. I'm like, he's all, you would want that, you fucker. Oh, well, you want my motorcycle painting.
Yeah.
So I sold my motorcycle painting, and he didn't, and he sold his rock painting. So the whole trade was off.
Right.
Later on, I got, we were in the show. Why am I drawing a blank on his fucking name right now? So rude of me. we're in a show in Utah at the Maynard-Dixon thing. And he was like, here, pick one. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you gonna pick one? He's like, I'm gonna try. And then he didn't like what, so I'm gonna wait. I'm like, okay. So then finally, years later, I'm like, hey, I still owe you a painting. And he's like, okay. So I just sent him a bunch of I'll take the truck. Okay, cool. And he's all George Strickland.
Okay. He's
out of Arizona. Super awesome guy, great painter. He's like, I love my truck. I'm like, awesome. I'm glad that we finally got to make that happen, And so, I did a trade with John Asaro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got one of his dancers.
Okay.
Yep. And he got, I did one of the trolleys on Market Street at night. And he's like, I want that one. I'm like, all right. He's like, bring Wendy over and come do some shopping. I'm like, okay. And he's all, I don't want it framed. I'll build the frame for it. So I'm like, sweet. And so he's just pulling out all kinds of fucking paintings from, and I'm like, well, he's all, any one of these. And we're like, really? And he's pulling out some big ones too. And I'm like, this one too? He's all, sure.
Wow.
And mine's like a 16 by 20, and I'm all, fuck, this is rad. We're getting a one little private showing here, and with John Asaro in his studio and La Costa, and it was just super hilarious.
You're like, can I get two?
Yeah.
I remember I was there. He's so sweet because I was there I did a portrait of him. And so I'm there doing a photo shoot with him, and there's drawings on the ground and they're signed. Oh, wow. I'm like, do you just throw your shit on the ground all the time, John? He's all, sometimes. I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Someone's going to step on that. He's all, take it. I'm all, okay. So I took it. I haven't framed it yet, but it's in my files. And I'm like, one of these days, I'll put a nice frame on that and be like, I might have to erase some stuff because of something got on it, but shh.
Jizz.
No.
Sorry.
Gross.
I was assuming.
No, just a little charcoal dust. That's all.
Okay. Is that what we're calling it these days? All right.
That went in a sock.
Was that a still life painting you have? Was the sock?
It's a sculpture now.
It's hilarious. Nice.
I don't even know where to go other than that.
I feel like it's always surprising to people when they come to your studio because you're just like, what? The thing's just right there. And you're like, oh, yeah. And they're like, what about, I have a painting that I started that I was I gave up on. They just on my floor, and someone came by and they were like, what is that doing right there? And I'm like, I'm not going to finish it. And they were like, you just leave it there? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to end up in the garbage. I just it hasn't made that trip yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been demolished enough and thrown away yet.
Yeah,
and that's a good feeling when you throw paintings away, dude. I remember I went through my stacks and I cut 200 paintings up.
Nice.
I was like, your radial arm saw just fucking them all up. And my neighbor comes over. He's like, "What are you doing?" Dude, you fucking cut that one up. I'm all, should have bought it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on. I always got a good price for you. He's like, what do you? I'm like,
yeah.
Leave me alone.
That's the opposite of what we were talking about with the prints. Once they see them destroyed, oh, I wanted that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's I took that shit off my website. You can't have it.
Yeah. That shit's annoying.
Isn't it?
That when people are like, oh, do you have this painting still? And I'm like, yeah, I have that painting. And they're like, how much is it? I'm like, the price, the same price. And they're like, oh, you willing to go down? And I'm like, no, I mean, that's as low as I can go. That's why I priced it there, because I'm not willing to go any higher. Or usually I price it like this is the lowest I'm willing to let it go for. Right. That's my mentality. So yeah, that's the price. And then they're like, all right, I can't afford it. And you're like, all right. But then it's like one of those, like recently I was talking to someone about a painting I have, and I've like him, and I've at this point I'm like, all right, this is my painting. I'm going to hold on to it. It's just some of my work. I've just decided that now it will just forever be mine. It's not for sale anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's going to become part of my own art collection of my work. And if I die, my family can take it and they can have it. You know what I mean? But like, no one's allowed to have it anymore. And they were like, oh, you have this piece? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, oh, I want to buy it. I'm like, yeah, it's not for sale. And they're like, what do you mean it's not for sale? I'm like, I'm not selling it anymore. Like you had opportunity. The opportunity's gone. Sorry, you can't have it anymore. Like you very like, but I also know they probably were going to try to like, you know, be like, is there any deals I can get? I'm like, no, it's not even for sale.
No more deals.
Yeah. But there's something I just don't like about that. I just don't like the whole, like, once you like remove it from the being an option, all of a sudden they're like, give it to me harder now.
Right? Yeah. No.
You had the chance. It's funny. Especially people with money. There's something where they're like, where it's just like, they just want everything they can't have, you know? So yeah. Like, and you actually are like, oh, you can't have it. Then they're like, want that one. You're like, there's other work for sale. You can go buy, and they're like, no, now I just want that one. Okay.
You can't, they still can't have it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got to make enough money to really not give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Invest
the
in
thing
a
is,
chipper.
The thing is, you'll still give a fuck. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose so. Well, I'll give a fuck about the art.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about like the selling part. I just don't want to give a fuck about that.
Yep.
As much.
It's not fun. Selling. Selling's brutal.
Yeah. It's a personality, you know. There are people that are good at sales, and artists are not the personality trait to like be great at that.
That's true.
You first have to be able to like hype yourself up, which unless you're Monty is hard to do. Like, you know, like every fucking
damn it, that guy's up again.
It's like every artist is so used to seeing whatever is fucked up with their artwork that to be like, this is fucking the best thing ever. It's just not in most artists' nature.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's, yeah. It's a thing. I wish there was like a doppelganger I could find that he could stand in that place that had the skills of sales, and I just place him in front of my paintings and he can do that part.
It's like there's certain people that you know, like Leon Holmes, who's an Australian guy. Have you met him yet?
Leon Holmes? That name sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah, I met him over in Maui, and he sold the shit out of his stuff. He wore his hat, had his accent.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, he has an accent. That's already.
I'm like, dude, can I borrow your hat and your accent? How about this? You just come over here and you talk to people about my work,
right?
Not yours, and let's see how that goes. It's all, mate. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Come on. I'm like, how many of these sweaty hats do you have? Can I borrow one?
Well, Americans are obsessed with an accent.
It's so true.
I think it's just because Americans, I don't think, travel enough.
Well, yeah.
I think once you travel outside the country enough, then you don't give a fuck about an accent. You're like, who cares? It's just how someone talks.
Yeah.
But there's something about that like, you know, it's just cheating.
It is cheating. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. How do we force him not to speak with an Australian accent?
We put a muzzle on one of those balls, the ball thing, you know, ball gag. Yeah. Come here. Yeah,
maybe a butt plug. Who knows?
I got something for you.
I don't know if his farts have accents. But yeah, that's, or we can all just gain an accent, I suppose,
or go sell our stuff in other countries.
There you go.
And then they like that.
Yeah, there's something weird about distance. I mean, it's like if a New York artist shows in California, like, yeah, they're a New York artist, and everyone's like, ooh, and then vice versa. If you sell your work in New York, they're like, he's a California artist. Ooh.
I'm still waiting for that. For the California artist in New York. Scott Dub Pryor.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But yeah, it's that weird. And it's like they're just a fucking human being.
Well,
you know what I mean?
you know who was smart about that was Kevin McPherson. How with going over to China and stuff.
Oh yeah,
dude, he sold the shit out of his work over there. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, man, you know, I got invited to go on one of those painting trips.
Okay.
But then like the region that we were gonna go to had a new governor that was elected. And so he was not into the arts.
Okay.
So he canned the whole funding for it.
Wow.
So my trip to China got squished.
Damn.
Like all expenses paid, you know, show at a museum and all the stuff. And I was like, yeah, finally somebody invited me on a trip. Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't get invited on trips that often. With artists.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
They don't like me. They don't like putting up with my shit. That Pryor won't shut up today.
China's a weird one, though. I didn't know they had like I mean, I know they have shitloads of money, but
well, and I had like, so Jason Situ, he'd been doing trips over there and stuff. And he called me and he's like, so I saw you posted that you're going on this trip to China. He's all, you need to be very careful. They don't like tattoos there. So bring long sleeve shirts. And I was like, and it had to do with the province that we're going to be in, you know? And I was like, okay, but in like Beijing, he's all, in Beijing, it's different, you know, but he's all, you're not going to be there. You're going to be in this other area and we're going to be in there in the summer. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll bring some long sleeve shirts just to cover up, you know, and see what happens. And then they canceled the show. So,
yeah,
you know, whatever.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago?
Oh, okay.
3 years ago? Before COVID.
Yeah.
Life before COVID, you know, traveling the world, painting, doing whatever we wanted to go do. Now we're on the don't let the dumb Americans in Europe list now.
Right.
It's like shit. My wife's job is global. She's a global educator for a hair company. So like you're talking about Australia, you know, she's like, yeah, they're getting slapped around and Canada's having issues. So she sees all this stuff going on. We were going to be going, we had a trip that we were going to go on and we're all excited about doing it. Doing a riverboat wine cruise with a friend of ours, winery.
Okay.
And so that's in November. And then with the way things are going and Delta coming around and we're like, she's like, I don't think we should go. I'm all, I guess not, you know, like to be responsible. Like, how would it be if I went over there and I am in Europe, you know? And I'm like, true. And then she's all, because our friends are kind of conservative, we'll say. And, she's like, do you want to be on a boat in France with a bunch of Trumpers? Oh, since you put it that way, fuck it, whatever. Now I'll stay home.
Yeah.
You know, like, do we get our money back? She's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
That's brutal.
So Scott does not get to go float down the Rhine and drink wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang it.
I know.
So
Yeah. Last year and what? So we on 2 years yet?
almost.
Fucking hell.
Just getting there.
Yeah.
It's
This is life.
the new life. It's a trip.
Well, yeah, it is. It isn't. I mean,
It's, well, I mean, for me, growing up where I grew up in Costa Mesa, I grew up in a middle class neighborhood, predominantly white. And this has shown the true colors of people who I thought were my friends, and I mean, I'm half Mexican. I'm like, you fucking eating tacos at my house. You've had menudo that my grandpa made at my house. Hello? Do you get it? No. Okay. Adios, dude. I ain't got time for your shit anymore.
Yeah. Fuck, it's exhausting.
It is. So, but at the same time, that's cool though, because you like more like guys like you, because of the internet, we were able to all stay in touch,
Right.
and be like, hey, dude, what the fuck's up? How are you doing? Or whatever. You know? So that is cool.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it. Seeing like who really gets you, and
Yeah, it's interesting. The world weirdly shrinks and then grows as bigger at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. These last couple of years seem like they're just. It's in my mind. It's like I hope it's like a thing where I don't know. It's not like go back to normal, but it's like gets out of this weird. Yeah.
Just
like
like
this weird. I mean, even like the fucking whole weather thing. It's like
that's not real.
is that a thing? And people think it's not real?
Still, yes. People are still saying global climate change is not real. Yes.
Yeah. And I was telling MJ, I was like, it's kind of a good thing that there's a hurricane that goes through like certain areas, because it's like, I feel like the California fires, people are like, that's all bullshit,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
No, it's not.
It's a thing. It was like I was talking to, I don't know, it might have been my brother or something. And I was like, that came up, and he's a little conspiratorial minded. He might hate that I said that because he listens. But we were talking about the fires, and I was like, yeah, there was because there was fires here. I don't know, like in this area, like 2 years ago from a lightning storm. That was a dry lightning storm.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it was a dry lightning storm. He's like, I've never even heard of that. I'm like, well, it's a thing. I can tell you that much. Like, it was fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like, it was the craziest thunder I've ever experienced, and I was like, I mean, I don't know.
Monsoonal kind of stuff, It's like Ryan Jensen, that guy, he was on a jog. He lives up in Humboldt area, and he's all on a run, and he saw a lightning strike, and it started a fire. And he's all, check this out. This shit just started. He's like, shit. He's got his phone. He's like, I was running and checked it out. Holy shit. And he runs over there and stomps it out.
Wow.
Like,
damn.
Dude, this guy, he has all kinds of stuff that happened to him. Do you remember him, the time when he saved a hawk?
Oh, was that him?
That was him.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't know him then,
Yeah.
I was like, who is this fucking guy? That's awesome. He saved the hawk. Like, he's so rad, There he is, like chasing mountain lions the other day, because he saw one on his way home from painting. He's like, so I got out of the car, and he's all like, Phil, there's the eyes, guys. You see the eyes? He's like, don't be me.
Wow.
I'm like, shit. Jesus Christ, man. Stop it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then there's just all these funny stories and stuff that happened to people like him, and it's like,
seeing lightning strike instead of fire is fucking wild.
Yeah, it is.
Fuck.
It's like when you look at the satellite stuff of how stuff was happening couple years ago, I was like, whoa, okay. You know, like from the thunderstorms and lightning striking, and they had that, you know, like they had that data from the space somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's talk NFTs in space
again.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about. Hit the button, Sergio.
Sounds like these jokers need to do their research.
Again.
This was another Waiting to Dry Science Corner.
Yes. Scientist. Smart guy. Art school.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of any of that. But they had some like satellite images of the
like the weather satellite stuff.
That's cool.
Of all that. Yeah. It's like, whoa. And I saw like footage too, like from some national forest video or whatever, you know. I was like, holy shit, you know, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's intense. You know, and then so we had down by us, we had a monsoon like thunder lightning storm happen about a month ago, and it was so close, like it was literally lightning boom. It was so loud, so bright that like one of the trees in the green belt behind our neighbor's house fell, big giant pine tree, and hit the neighbor's roof. Jeez. Broke the fence, you know, and nobody heard it because of how loud this thunder was.
Oh, wow.
And the cracks from the lightning hitting, you know, like it was literally that close. And I was like, you know, my dog came in, she's all like whining. I'm like, oh, do you need to go out? You know, and so I get up and go let her out. And I'm like, and she's like, no, I don't want to go out. I'm like, what's going on? Then all of a sudden, boom. I'm like, holy shit, you know. Then I leave the door open thinking she still wants to go out. So the rain starts happening and it's blowing sideways.
Yeah.
My wife's like, why didn't you close the door? I'm like, what's all this water on the floor from? She's like, you didn't close the door. The wind, when I got up, the wind was blowing rain into the house and like sheets of it. And I'm like, oh, sorry. But yeah, it was gnarly, you know? So I can only imagine being out in the forest when no one's around you, you know, and all of a sudden it's burning.
Yeah.
You know? Plus we have the power lines going down and
shout out PG&E.
Yeah.
PG&E.
It's wild times. I just want, you know, I think I've said this before. I just want shark attacks again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's all I want. I want people to worry about shark attacks.
Right. You guys are in the red zone. Red triangles right out there.
That's true. Yeah.
How often do you go swimming out there in the ocean?
Every time I can. I love the ocean.
You hop in it?
Oh, every time. Yeah.
No matter how cold it is.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about that. No. We went to Florida. Did I talk about this?
Yeah.
Hey, you talked about this on the other episode.
It was disgusting because it was hot.
Yeah. So
fuck hot water. I take cold showers.
I've had the pleasure of being down in Costa Rica and Hawaii surfing. You know, and Costa Rica was warmer than Hawaii, and it was like, you know, get up, go surf 7 a.m. or whatever, and you're sweating.
Right. Exactly.
You know, you get out, you're sweating. And then you drink an ice cold beer or whatever. And but it's just crazy. And Hawaii was, you know, when I surfed there, that was interesting because it was actually cold for being in Hawaii. You know, like guys were like, I should have wore my jacket today. And I'm like, this is well, at home, it's like the water's 52 right now, guys. Shut up.
Right.
You know? So
that sounds great.
That was a fun trip. I surfed my first ever stand-up barrel where I couldn't touch the top.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I was at the point. I was on Aloha Bay.
That's awesome.
Maui. Yeah. And it was bad. That's backside for me too. So was
Reverse direction from the normal direction you usually go.
backside is, well, yeah. Goofy footed. So my right foot's forward.
Right.
And so that is kind of harder to do, I guess. Some surfers will probably argue with me, but it was crazy. It was an awesome, just the kind of wave where when you drop in and it pitches over you and you're like, oh, and then the board just popped into the spot and where it's supposed to be. And then all of a sudden it goes all the way around me. And you can see a little ball of light at the end of the, and then it spit me out. And I was like, and I was trying to touch the top when I was in it. I was like, hands up, just fuck yeah. And what was awesome about it was that the locals there, because of my skin color and stuff, they thought I was a half-breed, half-Hawaiian guy. And so they're like, go, bro, go. They're like giving me waves.
Right.
And then this big ass set come in and they're like, you're lined up, bro. Go, you. And I'm like, me? Fuck, what? That's a big wave. I'm like, okay. Boom.
Like, you think I'd take it away? You just start talking like that. Keep getting. You're like, okay, brother.
And then just
start talking pigeon.
Spit me out, and I'm like, and I get out and I paddling back, and then there was a guy that took the wave right behind me, and he was a mainlander, but he lived in Lahaina. Left the mainland, and was like, dude, that was a sick wave you got. My wave wasn't that good, but he's all paddle your ass off because here comes 3 more. And I'm like, holy shit. What happened? It's like the switch got turned on, and all of a sudden that swell was just hitting. But man, never forget that.
That's awesome.
I haven't surfed a wave like that since, really. That was with kids, but they were little.
You still surf?
I haven't surfed in a while, probably almost a year, dude. Because I jacked my shoulder up. It's kind of hard to. Probably have to get it. I need to get it checked.
Does it pop out?
No, it doesn't pop out. It's just rotator cuff stuff where I can go surf, but then I have to deal with pain for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like pain in the ass, dude.
Yeah, shoulder shit.
So many. You played football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you play sports?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you're lucky. There's so many things that have come back to me from sport injuries.
Yeah.
I dislocated this shoulder, the one that I'm talking about, when I was in a wrestling tournament, and a guy picked me up, and I came down, and my shoulder popped out, and I was like, and then it popped back in, and so they gave me a minute, and they're like, "Do you want to keep going?" I'm like, yeah, I'm going to kick this fucker's ass, which I did.
Because he's a bitch.
Yeah, you slam me on the mat like we're wrestling or something. That hurt. But yeah, it's hard. Yeah. Knees, ankles, hips, all the wrestling, football.
I know. I'm
soccer.
getting hip things now, little bits. I'm like, oh, hopefully that'll become a thing.
Yeah, you just need to keep moving. It's like you're talking about how you have to stretch with doing the murals. I stretch for life.
Yeah.
I saw a collector. I did that to Hatchby plein air art thingy back in June. I was out there twice for it. And I was talking to him, and he's like, I'm 77 years old now, Scott. I'm like, you look great, Dwight. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing yoga every morning. So if I fall on the ground, I can at least get up.
Nice.
I'm like, that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, I need to take notes and start doing yoga every day, man.
Yeah. Old people that do yoga are always the ones that look the most fit. I swear.
Yeah.
It's always those people that are like, out there doing cartwheels, and you're like, all right, guess you can be 90 and do cartwheels or some shit.
Can we just do some Tai Chi? So, yeah, the injury thing is fun.
Yeah.
Not really. Arthritis. It's like stupid.
Yeah.
Hand cramp when I start painting. Yeah, I'm like, okay, so it's like, yeah, you got to loosen up a little bit. Get it going.
Oh, this is. Do you have shit like that, Sergio?
If I don't like stay on top of it, yeah, my back will give out. Like,
Seize up.
I've been been trying to get back into doing stretching again because I kind of took off or didn't stay on it for long enough that it started to really start to flare up a bit. Nothing like it gave out, fortunately, but I could feel like it's starting to happen. Like,
so how did that happen to your back?
I think just like, both just like sitting at the easel too long without like enough movement and standing at my easel doing like plein air stuff. Like just the combo of those things just like started to hurt my hips and lower back.
Yeah, you got to stretch, man.
Standing at your easel? Is it because you're on like a slope or something?
No, I think it's more just like you're standing in one position too long.
Yeah, we have shitty, like posture.
Yeah, you're like kind of off, like you're kind of too much on one leg.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
Yep. I broke my femur when I was a sophomore.
Wow.
Down in Baja, broke it riding a quad racer on the beach.
Oh shit!
Doing like 50 something miles an hour, probably. The night before there was a full moon, so the tide came in really high and it dropped, and so there's a cut in the sand, and we had a track that we made, because we were right by the dunes, and we had this spot where we came by underneath the camp and would go up on the bluff and hit the berm, and like and go do our little track. And so I was trying to go hit that berm super fast, and I didn't see the cut in the sand, and so boom, hit it. Nailed it and bucked me off and snap.
Holy shit. Wow.
5-6 hours later, I'm at the UCSD Medical Center. Legs all boarded up. My mom was a nurse, so they got, like, fortunately, some people that were with us camping, they had a Suburban with 4-wheel drive. They brought that down on the beach, cleared out the back, and my mom boarded my leg up, and they put me in the back, and then we drove up to UCSD. So because of that, I have hip issues too. So I started standing, like when I started having issues with this a few years ago, I started standing, putting more weight on my right leg, which I still do, so, but I'm conscious of it. I'm trying to mix it up and, so yeah. Doesn't help.
Yeah.
Standing in one spot.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like the defluffing is part of lose a little weight to help relieve the the pressure on the joints and stuff. So, yeah, it's fucking dumb, dude. Old man shit.
This is what, if you're young, this is what you got to look forward to.
This is what happens. Don't play sports. Don't do anything that'll hurt yourself.
Live in a bubble.
Snowboarding and skateboarding, no. BMX bikes, no. Live in a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't fucking know. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, aging is a son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's comical.
Yeah, but I remember there was like a point in my life where I came to terms with potentially dying. It's like, oh, like if I die, I'm all right with it. So like I don't fear death, and like in like a way that I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But like aging is like once you start like realizing, you're like, fuck, aging is way worse than dying. That shit is terrifying.
It is. It is. My wife's like, with the place out in Arizona that we're working on, she's like, if you become an old son of a bitch with all your injuries and you can't do anything anymore, I'm like, babe, just take me to the Grand Canyon, put me in the Suburban, and put a brick on the paddle, and just make sure I'm strapped in and I can't get out.
What song are you listening to?
I don't have a radio that works in there.
I mean, for this scenario.
Oh, for this scenario?
Yeah, last song you're going to be listening to.
That's a good one.
On your way down the Grand Canyon. You got to be playing something.
Tom Petty, Free Fallin'. I'm free. Very
AC/DC, Highway to Hell.
Yes. Yeah, Thelma and Louise. She's like, yeah, I'm putting up with you. Please take care of yourself. I'm working on it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then I blamed it on COVID. Goddamn COVID. I can't go to the gym anymore.
Right.
I'm not going back to the gym. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to deal with these people anymore.
Yeah, fuck them.
And Jerome's going to be awesome. It's going to be it's quiet there.
How much land is it?
We have like about a quarter acre. It's not a big spot, but like it's all about the location. Location. South side of the ridge, view of the whole entire valley.
That's cool.
Cool little, like, as far as neighborhoods go in the town, we're in a very good one.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
Our neighbor makes wine.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Famous neighbor.
Famous. Don't tell anybody where I live, though. 'Cause then they'll figure out where he lives, and then it's all my fault.
Quarter acre is cool, though.
It's perfect. It's like we're going to have a nice... the whole idea is for us to be able to entertain at the house, have people come and visit, and have people come and hang out and paint. And
are you going to build a studio?
there's going to be a room down on the lower level that'll be a studio for now. Then the high school, which is literally right above us, that is all it's the old high school for the town. That's all art studios.
Oh,
okay.
that's cool.
Yeah, so I could walk to it.
Nice.
Well, but when I'm an old man, I'll just take my golf cart over there.
There you go.
Or who knows how the future rolls out? You might walk there with your robot legs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's happening.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. I saw a reel with a lady who couldn't walk, but she was in robot legs in the kitchen cooking.
That's crazy.
Up, and I'm like, wow, that's a thing now? I wonder how much those cost.
All right. How many pennies I'm going to have to barter to get that?
Yeah, right. Will it make me run?
Yeah.
'Cause I hate running.
That'd be awesome.
How fast can I run with that on?
There's like that, I don't remember what it was, but it was like a skit where it was I think where it was like a workout skit where they like tranquilize you. So you're like asleep. And then you can these people will exercise you while you're sleeping. So you don't have to work out while you're awake. Awesome. And you can so you, just for anyone that doesn't like to, I think it was related to Oprah. It was oh yeah, Oprah pays people to work her out while she's asleep or something.
What?
And if you have robot legs, you know what I mean?
That would be see?
Yeah. Just make you run on a treadmill while you're sleeping.
Oh, that's great. I like that idea. Yeah. Once I quit wrestling, I gave up running.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wrestlers have a brutal regimen.
Yeah, college. I wrestled a little bit in college.
Nice.
So it was interesting. My coach was an asshole, so I injured my knee and was the doctor was you can have surgery after every season, or you can let it heal naturally and play with your kids. And I'm like, so that means I would be quitting? He's all, yeah. You would have to hang it up. And I'm like, okay. And so I just made the decision. I'm like, I'm going to let this heal naturally. I don't want to get cut because I've been, growing up as a kid, I've had so many injuries. I broke my femur. That was 2 major surgeries right there. So many ear surgeries, putting tubes in my ears and shit. Like, 11 in one ear and 12 in the other ear. Well, just anyways. Fuck. So I didn't want to get poked. Yeah. I didn't have to go under anymore. And
coach wasn't happy about that.
No, he wasn't. And I'm like, and my coaches, and I'm talking to the doctor who my mom worked for that office, and was like, and I'm talking to him. He's like, well, your coach is an asshole, right? So I'm all, yep. We just pretty much made the decision. I'm quitting, Yeah. And so I did. I quit and let it heal naturally. And, I still have issues with it, but.
And that coach is living in a 1-bedroom apartment and in Portland now.
He might be.
Yeah.
Coach DeBobian.
Yep. Hope you enjoy your 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, he got inducted to the All-American Hall of Fame, but I was like, you still are a dick. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever wrestle in high school?
No, I never wrestled in high school.
You didn't wrestle?
No, I didn't wrestle.
You want to wrestle?
I wrestled wrestlers like for fun. They always thought they could. Beat me. But they were fucking wrong.
Their coach was like, "Damn it! Why isn't he wrestling with us?"
Because wrestlers' regimen is just brutal.
Yeah, it was. Dude, I honestly, wrestling helped me with like art school and persevering through this career and stuff. So
yeah, that makes sense. It's a grind for sure.
Individual sporty thing, kind of thing. Me against the world.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised. A lot of guys that have wrestled, like Joe Paquette, wrestler.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. Gil Dillinger, wrestler.
That's a big guy too.
Yeah. So there's a handful of them, and it's like, we talk about it, and like, how it's like any other individual sports. If you're in jiu-jitsu or doing kung fu or kickboxing, it's the same shit. It's the same mental thing.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder how much, because there's also like a competitiveness in sports that as long as you keep it healthy, I feel like is pretty helpful for an art career,
Yeah.
And work ethic can be a thing you get from sports that can be really helpful. And I would be interested in seeing how many people that are like more like representational or more traditional who because I think there's also something about like when you're into like a sport or something, there's something about the understanding like the functionality of technique and things like that, and appreciating that and realizing that there's great benefit to learning those things, where like, someone who's more into like, I don't know, abstract, whatever, and how much they like, I don't know. I want to talk shit, but I also don't. Not even talk shit right now. So, but those folks, I'd be interested in seeing how many of those folks
did sports like
did
wrestling.
Sports or have those attributes that lend itself to like a more traditional style artist.
Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the case, but instead they were probably like the people that hated people. They hated those people.
They hated the jocks.
Yeah.
Now I make crappy art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't. But yeah, I don't know. I remember there was this kid who was an artist in my high school, and he hated my art. And it was just like, well, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there, painting bodies and splattering them against the canvas. But maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, my high school coach was a silk screening teacher and ceramics teacher and stuff. So he's retired now and spinning pots and stuff,
Yeah.
So, and he's doing so I didn't do art classes in school,
Yeah.
because of him. I'm like, I will go do something different because I'm already spending enough time with you, kind of thing, and so you don't want to hang out with a bunch of stoners, dude? Come on, I'm all, what's wrong with stoners? Nothing wrong with stoners. I'm friends with those guys, coach. Come on. And so I would still help out with helping out with the t-shirt designs, and he would be like, hey, here, go finish this tracing for me, and stuff like that. So I would help out with stuff every now and then, and so I had my had a little pinky toe in the arts in high school, but and he knew I drew and stuff, so but
our art department in my school was full shit.
Oh, so was ours.
Yeah.
It was whatever, but there's a couple people that were doing traditional stuff, and I was like, that's pretty cool, Carolyn. How long have you been doing drawing like that? She's like, oh, I went to France with my family last year, and and while I was there, I had a sketchbook and I started drawing, and we went into all the museums, and I'm like, oh, cool, but she's not doing anything with it now.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, wow.
It is weird. There was this artist that was pursuing art when I was kind of we were kind of trying to show at galleries when we were really young, together. I forget her fucking name. I'm drawing a blank. Chow Fong. Do you know that person at all?
I don't know.
But then she had put in a lot of work, and she was a really talented painter. And then one day she was like, I'm going to quit painting and become a baker. I'm like, and it was one of those things where it was like, I just, I don't even understand that. You know what I mean? How you can get this far.
What?
And then just not do it anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I suppose if you think of it as a hobby, maybe. Because I have hobbies I pick up, and sometimes those get put to the wayside, or at least
woodworking.
Yeah, woodwork for fun. I mean, I still have to do that for just making wood panels and things and frames.
Yeah, I'm picking up the old hobby of fishing.
Nice.
I used to fish growing up, just go camping, go mammoth and whatever with the family, and my wife's like, what else are you going to do in Jerome? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, besides painting, what else are you going to do? I'm like, and there's fish hatcheries and stuff there, and I'm like, I'm going to start fishing again. She's like, and because I already thought about it. I'm like, what else am I going to fucking do? Because,
You should also learn how to install a radio into a vehicle.
So I have the stock radio in there, and what I do is I play my phone on a little Bluetooth speaker. Yeah. So that's my.
All right, well, that'll work for when you need to.
For when I need to go off the edge. So I'm actually learning. I'm going to after this show here, I'm going up to Grass Valley. And I'm going to learn how to fly fish with a professional guide who happens to be a very well-known musician in the rock and roll, punk rock era. Sings for the band Hot Water Music. Does Chuck Reagan. That's his name. Ragan. And so he also has his solo stuff, and he's really good. Very gifted dude, but he's a certified freshwater captain, and he's a certified fly fishing guide. And so we're gonna go. I asked him the other night because I've been trying to pin him down so I can do a photo shoot with him. And then I sold that big painting. I'm like, I'm gonna be in the area, so And then I tried to go when I went up to Tehachapi. I was like, "Hey, do you have any openings? I'll come up." And and he's like, "Nope. Go check the calendar, though." So I checked the calendar, and the Monday after the Sonoma event, he was available. And I'm like, and I sold that big painting. I'm like, fucking taking myself fly fishing.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And he's like a pro.
Yeah.
And so
You're probably going to win this plein air event. Suck it, Sergio. And then you'll have even more money.
yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking more forward to.
Right. Yeah.
Paint out or going to hanging out with him and fishing.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned something about floating on the Yuba and catching steelhead. I'm like,
Nice.
let's go.
The Yuba River is nice too.
Yeah, it's pretty up there.
I haven't been there in so long, so staying in a nice little spot in Grass Valley and gonna go learn how to fly fish.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
because there's tons of fishing in Arizona, and my goal is not to just be there, because like this is having that house, and then we're 6 hours from Colorado. So be able to move around, come back, and have the shortest drive, and go paint and fish in other areas.
Yeah.
Just get out and try to have some fun.
Yeah.
Life's too short, man.
Yeah. And when that hip goes, you're going over an edge.
Going over the edge. Or again, the robot legs.
Or robot legs. I forgot about that option.
Robot legs.
Fingers crossed.
Then I can go, like, the robot legs can carry my ass into the river.
Yes.
I have to get waterproof robot legs.
Yeah, maybe they'll have like things that like won't be able to float on the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can just walk on water.
Ooh.
Jesus style.
Jesus style, walking on water. I like it.
Yeah, with your robot legs. Yeah.
My wife she'll program the robot legs to drag my ass into the Suburban and take it to the edge.
Yeah, it's just like hitting the gas. You're like, no.
What did you do to my legs, Wendy? Gosh.
That's hilarious.
I can't get it off the throttle.
Well, you'll have your own hand, so you can steer the car still. So that's good.
There is that. We'll be going in circles.
Yeah. You can program my legs, but you can't program
My arms are fine.
my heart as one. I suppose. Oh shit! How are we on time?
I think we're almost at 3 hours. Holy shit. Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Sorry, fellas. We stole it. We stole 3 hours.
Yak.
Well, yeah. If you're in if you're in the area, well, when does this come out?
I'll try to get it out this weekend. So
Go check out the plein air event, right? So
Come on out to the plein air.
come to the downtown Sonoma Square Saturday morning.
Yep. We'll be there.
Or be
With bells on. Woo.
Trying to sell it.
Locking our wares. Come on down.
And if you live in a studio apartment and you want to upgrade, be mean to Scott.
That works.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
No. I think we covered it all 3 hours later.
If you're in San Diego, go to the show. I mean, just follow you on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Come make me Insta famous.
Yeah.
Scott W. Pryor.
Uh-huh.
Don't forget the W.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't talk about peanut butter and pickles, and I guess that's another day.
Oh, we should talk about that.
Is that a thing? I was like, I think we're out of peanut butter. It was like, fuck, we should have opened the show with us eating peanut butter and pickle sandwiches.
Yes. Peanut butter and pickle sandwich on sourdough.
It has to be on sourdough?
Sourdough is the shit.
Yeah, sourdough is the shit.
This is true. This is a thing.
You make your
Dill pickles, peanut butter on sourdough.
Huh.
You make your own sourdough?
No. I buy it.
I don't either. My wife makes sourdough.
Is she still doing that?
Oh yeah,
That was the one thing
I'm
that,
still eating it.
like with COVID, we started making all kinds of different things, and bread was one that we didn't really venture too far into.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it is. Yeah. So yeah, try that sandwich, people. It's good.
Y'all heard it.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for having me, you guys.
Well, this has been Waiting Dry. If you're still listening, fuck off.
Bye.